What's up, everybody, and welcome to your final day of League of Legends for the Summer Brawl Tournament, brought to you by the Military Gaming League. My name is Andrew Mercy Taylor. We've got some exciting games in store for you today, and I'm joined on this figurative casting desk by none other than James Gamer Tribute Johnson. How you doing today, man?
I am doing awesome. I'm looking forward to this final day. We have had a great weekend of action so far, and I am looking to see how this plays out in the end.
Yeah, we've got some pretty big games going on today. We're going to have first, to start things off, is going to be U.S. Army Esports taking on Flashpoint for our first match of the day. They're going to be followed by Grunto facing Twisted Sin. So looking at this first match, it's going to be a bit of a banger. We've got both of these teams coming out and firing. Unfortunately, Flashpoint is in a situation where they cannot make finals, but I'm sure they want to make a good showing no matter what. Army Esports, though, does have a shot at making finals, so they do have some stake in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. U.S. Army definitely wants to come out and make a statement. And I know that Flashpoint does too. They unfortunately had to forfeit a game yesterday because they had some personnel shifts, but they were able to field a roster today and want to make a good showing for themselves.
Yeah, going to be exciting games. And then, like we said, later on today, we've got Grunto Esports versus Twisted Sin, a big rivalry, so that should be a good match as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a barn burner. I think we got some hyper carries on both teams. We got a lot of trash talk going on between both teams. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that one plays out.
Yeah, you were just able to see the standings there for a minute, but how it's looking right now is that Twisted Sin Esports is in the lead with a 2-0. Army Esports is going to be in second place with a 1-1. Grunto is right behind them with a 1-1. And then also they've got Flashpoint in the bringing up the rear. So how this is shaping up today is that Army Esports, if they win, then they are on to the finals no matter what. But if they lose and Grunto beats Twisted Sin, that means that Grunto will move forward. The reason is that Army Esports has the head-to-head advantage, so they will be the ones that move forward should it go there.
Yeah, so Army controls their fate. If they win, they're in. If they take it easy and think that they're going to get a walk here, they could get surprised. And Grunto, if they win, they'll move themselves into the finals.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty much Grunto is in a must-win situation for this afternoon. Army Esports also, not a must-win, but definitely going to give themselves a little bit breathing room if they're able to take down Flashpoint this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to keep their momentum going. You don't want to slide into the finals losing and having the other team help you in. You want to take that and make it yourself.
Yeah, so now we can see that, Army Esports, this is one of those times you want to take your own future in your hands. You don't want to give it to somebody else. You want to have the grip on the steering wheel, not allow somebody else to, make your destiny for you. And so they look to continue that after they had a pretty astounding performance yesterday versus Grunto.
Yeah, they looked really good. They moved well as a team. During that first day on Fridays, they had some they fell behind early, but were able to hold off as long as possible before they ended up losing that game. And yesterday they rebounded very well, moved around as a team, took objectives just one right after another, and played really a good team game.
And so with that, we're actually going to go ahead and get right into champ selects. It's going to be a Flashpoint over on your blue side, Army on your red side, and we're going to see an early Malzahar ban coming out. That was played by Rito yesterday. He was a split pushing minutes.
Yeah, he did a lot of damage with that Malzahar. Didn't necessarily get the kills or the assists that'll show in the stat line, but he kept pressure on the side lanes the entire game and just helped them move those objectives over and over again.
Your judgment
Pulling a lot of attention this way, and this time we're going to see a Tarek and a Morgana ban coming out. Looks like they're just going to be targeting the champion pool, a Bitter Vet, trying to put him on uncomfortable support here.
Yeah, they're going to try to force him to his third or fourth pick. They might even go triple ban for the support, see if they can just really limit his support pool.
Yeah, now we see a Nami ban is going to be what's going to round it out, directed over to It's Me, that's OP. He is a very strong Nami player. In Army Esports, their crux of a champion to try to get over has been Nunu. So they will ban that one out, but we do see the Tom Kench being picked up, and that could be a top lane pick.
Oh, I was hoping we were going to see this Tom Kench top lane. It is a menace in solo queue right now, one of my favorite pocket picks. But it looks like if they lock in this Urgot as the counter, we'll see if we can get a repeat of yesterday with what that Urgot was able to do.
Yeah, the Urgot looked really good for Porkchop yesterday. It was a terrifying threat up in the top lane, getting the 1v2 outplays and things like that. But one thing to note with the Tom Kench is that it has been nerfed recently as of 9.12. They took away some of the damage from Tom Kench as well as the distance of the spit. So a little bit harder to execute on. And now we see a Karthus hover to the side of Army Esports, which is fairly interesting. But no, it's going to be a Karma. Karma recently got a lot of buffs, and Army Esports likes to play this champ.
Yeah, Karma can be extremely oppressive, and she's a triple flex pick. She can go either mid, fill in the support, or if they want to put Urgot in the jungle and put her top lane, she can go super tanky in the top lane.
Yeah, so now that, Flashpoint has given that over, they gave up some priority, but they are going to go ahead and take the Jarvan as well as the Ahri. Both have been showing some prevalence. Ahri more so in solo queue compared to pro play, but Jarvan has been a staple in the jungle for quite a while.
Yeah, he just has so much utility. He can lock people down, isolate the carries in the box, and just is a good utility pick at the jungle at this point.
Yeah, and so Army Esports going to get their last pick in right here. We're going to see what they're going to end up taking. It will be the Olaf for Valencia in the jungle. I believe this is his second Olaf game. He played Jarvan in the first game. So going back to that comfort teamfight pick.
Yeah, absolutely. He looked really good on the Olaf yesterday. Was able to get those axes down, get those slows in. He had a couple early ganks, a couple early kills, and really got himself ahead and really helped with those team fights.
Yeah, so looking at these drafts, Army Esports is building, once again, kind of a similar draft to last time, a team fight focused draft. They did save possibly their mid lane pick if they're going to put that Karma down in the support role, or they just have saved their entire bot lane for these last picks. So yeah, I expect to see a lot of bot lane bans come in.
I was going to say, and we see the ADC ban starting to come through. We already got a Sivir and Illusion, and now the Thresh support ban coming out from US Army Esports.
Yeah, so 3 support bans targeted over at Bitter Vet over on the other side. And with these ADC bans, they're trying to get it targeted over at Talented. Talented does have a pretty wide pool of champions that he likes to play, and his most iconic showing for him is always that Draven.
Yeah, well, yesterday they banned out the Draven against Jick Rames, so he didn't play it, and he just crushed on that Caitlyn against the Sivir yesterday. Had about triple to 4 times the damage in that ADC matchup in yesterday's game.
Yeah, so we'll see what Army Esports wants to take here. They will have the counter pick being on that red side, so we'll see if they're going to utilize it or if they've pretty much just showed their hand with, maybe waiting to take their ADC, seeing what's going to be picked here. But it will be the Draven getting locked in for Talented. It's like I know what I'm talking about every once in a while. I enjoy it when the players help me out here.
Yeah, that's always a good feeling, and it's countered with the Caitlyn, so we will see just a lot of damage in that matchup. So, gotta love the fact that we're seeing another Draven game, though. I'm really looking forward to this, see what happens.
Draven is such a feast or famine champion. If he does not get ahead early, he can end up being useless. But Talented is not one to get put behind early. So I look to see a lot of pressure coming out of this bot lane with a lot of jungle focus over on that side as well. But a Blitzcrank is going to be picked up, which sometimes is good in the Draven, but also if you pull Draven towards your carry, you pretty much just gave him a free flash to get on top of your ADC.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses to pulling the Blitzcrank depending on the matchup, because sometimes you can hurt your own team by pulling the ADC into you, where he can get closer to your carry. And it looks like we're going to see the Pike counter, so there's just going to be pulls everywhere on this map.
Yeah, pool after pool after pool is what we're going to be seeing. The Pike for It's Me That's OP is one of his favorite champions. The guy is disgusting on it. It's his solo queue favorite because he can fill almost every single role on the map other than ADC with Pike. So It's Me That's OP is going to be looking to, put a lot of pressure on this map. But as we go down, let's just take a look across at each one of these champions. How do you feel about this? We saw Urgot versus Darius in the top lane. Do you think that Tom Kinch is going to have a better time against Pork Chop? Do you think this champion matchup is going to be a little bit better?
I think Tom Kinch definitely has a tank advantage over what the Darius brought to the Urgot. Though, if he can get going with those Devours and getting those stacks on there, so he can keep the Urgot slowed. Plus the gray health is just a double health bar for Tom Kinch once he gets up there and levels and gets some armor built up. So he can probably hang in lane a little bit better with the Urgot than Darius could.
Yeah, that gray skin is no joke, and it can be quite a menace to have to deal with. We'll see if he, once we get in game, what runes he decide to go. We've been seeing a lot of press the attack coming out of the top lane. Just does so much damage once you get that exposed third shot. But in the jungle, we have Jarvan versus Olaf, and this is a matchup that I know very well. I know Valencia likes to take the Conqueror on Olaf. That usually tends to lean towards, going for that Cinderhulk enchantment and just wanting to be in the fights for as long as possible. But he will have to face someone who has a lot of early game pressure in that Jarvan.
Yeah, as long as he survives the early game, I like the Olaf a little bit better once it comes down later into the team. Or I'm sorry. Yeah. Olaf will do well in the team fights because he gets that unstoppable. You have to get him locked in the cage, but he's going to definitely, I think, out damage the Jarvan late game. So if he can survive that early pressure, hopefully he doesn't get invaded too much and he can farm up. Olaf does have that quick clear though, so he might get off the first gank.
Yeah, and in the mid lane, we've got the Ahri into the Karma. I know Rito personally, and he loves to play Karma all the time. He was super excited about these Karma buffs. So I am excited to see him on it, and they've paired him with, essentially 4 AD champions. So an Ardent Sensor buy here is going to be pretty massive for him.
Yeah, they are definitely pretty AP heavy. So I don't think we're going to be seeing tank Karma out of the mid lane. She's definitely going to be going maybe once after that Ardent Sensor build, start building that AP so that they can have a good damage profile in those team fights.
Yeah, I expect for this Ahri, we'll see if they decide to go for the Glacial Augment build, or if they're going to go for that heavy lane pressure with the Electrocute. And then we've already talked a bit about down on the bot lane, Draven and Pike versus Caitlyn and Blitzcrank. Who do you favor in that matchup?
I think I got to favor the Draven and the Pike. Blitzcrank has the pulls and the knockup, but Pike also has the pull. He's got the invisibility, the dash with the stun. He's going to have a couple options to get Draven just some free shots. Caitlyn does have a range advantage, and if he's able to take advantage of it, like we saw the Caitlyn do yesterday, she can get really oppressive and really OP really fast. So we might see I think we're going to see some fireworks down in that bot lane.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of bot lane focus by both junglers. I expect them to set their pathing to be able to, give influence over that lane to try to shape the match in their bot lane's favor. But now, Gamer Tribute, for my final question for you, looking at these team compositions, who do you see coming away with the W today?
Just based on what we've seen over the weekend, I think U.S. Army Esports is going to get out there and take the objectives they need to take. They're going to communicate really well as a team. I think even if they fall behind in the laning phase like they did in the first game, they showed a lot of resilience and a lot of fight going forward. Yeah,
I'm in the same boat. I think they have a very good team fight composition. They have that kind of style where you know, they're able to split push with the Urgot, but they also have a pretty fast collapse with Draven having just, you know, that movement speed steroid, Pyke being able to get around the map, as well as Karma. So, guys, with that, we're going to be getting onto the Rift shortly. But real quick, we just wanted to hit our sponsors. Make sure you go and check them out. They make it possible so that Military Gaming League is able to put on these kinds of events. So you can go check them out over at aboostabove.com or over at vertigear.com. A Boost Above is going to be helping you with your mental health, and Vertigear is going to be helping you with, you know, how your butt feels in that chair. If you want to be sitting on the cloud, you should go with Vertigear. And if you want to be on cloud 9 with your mental status, you go to boostabove.com. With that as well, make sure you check out Military Gaming League's Patreon. You can go to their Patreon. It's patreon.com/Military Gaming League. You can be one of the very exclusive members that gets that exclusive gear, gets to be part of the community, and helps them put on events. So, guys, make sure you hit up that Patreon.
All right, it looks like they did choose to go with the Glacial Augment on the Ahri. So we'll see. Probably to give her a little bit more stick-to-itness with the speed-ups of the Draven, the Karma, and Olaf.
Yeah, and so as we're just now getting onto the Rift, we can see, you know, both of these teams are going to have probably a fairly slow start to get things going. You know, there could be some pretty early game shenanigans. You got a Blitzcrank hook as well as that Pyke hook, so we might see these teams 5-stack here.
Yeah, so it looks like Army Esports is going for a jungle split this time. Yesterday they stacked all 5 in the bottom river. This time they're going 3 and 2. So we'll see if they're looking for an invade maybe on that the bot side.
30 seconds until
yeah, they're looking to maybe get some deep vision, but Army Esports actually going to go up to the enemy blue side. They're trying to call on the buff right here. They want to be able to get that pressure, and they're going to leave their bot lane duo over on the side. So it might be a 3-buff start for the side of Valencia.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to probably take this blue uncontested. Then he'll probably jump right up to his red. And then see if he can maybe get that early top lane gank.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, the pathing that he's setting up for himself is going to be a very good start for Valencia. You know, Olaf does go low in the jungle, but that low only helps his passive to increase his clear speed. So expect Valencia to get early farm lead, and we'll see what he's going to be able to do with it.
Yeah, and it looks like Pyke and Draven might be setting up for that brush cheese coming out of the jungle for the bot lane. So we'll see if they go ahead and pull the trigger on it again today.
Yeah, they've got it set, and it's going to be interesting to see if they take the greedy route. But actually, Jarvan is calling it. Just looking at the minimap, they know that this play is going to be here. Jarvan does have the flag and Drad, but they're just going to pull off of that play for now. So even though there was a little bit of early game shenanigans, nobody fell for it.
Yep, so now we're just going to fall into a regular laning phase here. Jarvan looks like he's going to maybe try to hang around down there and get a level 2 gank and put some pressure on the Draven.
Yeah, one of the things to note is when those don't pay off, it ends up just hurting your experience, and you can get way behind. Valencia looking for an early gank to happen. The charm lands from high, though, so he's going to be feeling okay. No sums burned, but now it's going to give Jarvan the opportunity as he sees that Olaf has taken his blue buff, but Valencia is going to collapse on it.
Yeah, so we should get a fight here. Olaf might be able to get there before he can take that buff. Nope.
Yeah, let's see. He's got the smite down, and now Invincible has the red and the blue, so Valencia is going to be in a bad position. Pyke is going to be roaming over, but Invincible needs to know that his bot lane is going to be behind this play. Now here's It's Me That's OP. That's going to be the flash and drag over the wall, but it doesn't matter because the Ignite is going to be enough for first blood for Army Esports.
That was a good collapse by Pyke there to get in.
Oh, flash in from Valencia. This is going to be a 3v3. Karma is coming on the wings, but she is low. But there's a good hook coming onto Bovie. Bovie flashes out, but Talent's able to cash in. Now Wairito in a bad position. Going to get the tether. Going to be able to land the roots. High is going to be looking to try to get over the wall. Can't quite make it. That's a double kill to the Driven. Bitter Vet being ran down. Army Esports running away with their early game. 0-4 before the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, and they just collapsed and got everything they wanted out of that. They had a chance to get Karma, but of course, with all that shielding and all that speed up, she was able to stay out and not drop one back in return.
Yeah, bit of a whoopsie. It looked like, the play was going to be there. Ari got the pressure in mid lane, was going to be able to collapse first, but unfortunately, it's me that's OP with that passive. It just has so much speed to get over to his jungler at that blue buff and really be able to help Valencia and shape that fight.
Yeah, and this we're going to see the movement speed be there over and over again. That was a good catch there by Pyke.
Yeah, Bovie in a bad position. Still no flash. You gotta feel bad. You know it's not what you want, but Talented goes on a killing spree. Army Esports just still crushing this early game so far.
Yeah, and me that's OP is really taking advantage of those stuns and pulls for the Pyke, because even if you miss the dash and the stun and the opponent gets out of it, he's got his hook right behind that to pull you back to him.
And so now as we look around at the map, we have a little bit of a slowdown in the action, so it'll give us a chance to catch our breath. But the Pyke actually is looking to make a roam over here. Here comes the passive. He's coming in. He has double buffs, so now High might be in a bad position. No flash, remember, from the last gank. That's going to be the tether landing. That's going to be the root in place. But Jarvan is here. Can they turn this around fast enough? The answer is no. Another kill going to Army Esports, and it's me that's OP is just feeling it right now.
Yeah, he definitely has a good advantage. They were able to get ahead, and that's going to just open him up to roam around. And it's almost like at this point with Pyke and Olaf, you're going to get ganked over and over again. It's like having two junglers out there almost.
Yeah, Army Esports, Valencia isn't going to have to worry about the top lane whatsoever. He's already got so many sums down in the mid and bot lane. If he can continue to get those lanes steamrolling, he's going to have no issues. But Porchop actually eats a tower shot. Has to use the disdain to get away. Britchall is going to try to chase him down, but the slow is going to be there. But there is the stun. There is the flash. No flash to follow, but now Porchop out an important summoner spell.
Yeah, and that is the benefit of Tahm Kench in the top lane, is that he can just be so oppressive, and every time you think you get away from him, he just hits you with another tongue lash, slows you down, chases you, and gets those devours and throws you right back into the wave. It's just over and over again, can just chase down that Urgot.
Yeah, now Army Esports, just farming up down here in the bot lane. They mostly have been farming bodies, not minions, so they need to get their farm right. But now we see Invinciblades is looking to punish this Urgot, who is flashless. The Flash and Drag does not land, but he does get the Disdain flip over. That's going to be a Devour coming out on an Invinciblades. Now Porchop is in a bad position, but remember that Devour is going to be down, so that means that he can't do it again. There's going to be the Chilling Smite onto Britchall. Valencia is looking to get in on this, and Invinciblades gets the Flash and Drag, but it doesn't matter because they're able to take him down. The E executed there. There's the ultimate from Porchop. Goodbye, Britchall. That's going to be Army Esports with a 2-0 up in the top lane.
And that was a great long-range ultimate. Not sure why Jarvan decided to go back in, seeing how much health and mana that Olaf had when he came in. I don't know if he thought he could turn that, but yeah, the cooldowns on Tahm Kench and no mana on Tahm Kench really hurt that recovery there.
Yeah, once again, another pull down in the bot lane. Bittervet being caught out on the blend strength. They're going to get the knockup, but it's not going to be anything else. He is hurt and he is wounded. He's got to play this one safe. One more hook will be his life.
Yeah, so Army Esports already sitting at this 8-0 advantage and about 6.5K team gold lead at 7.5 minutes. And they haven't even started taking tower plates yet, so they're just going to keep building on this gold lead.
Yeah, still tons of gold left on this board, tons of neutral objectives to still take down when you're only at the 8-minute mark. So Army Esports in a position to end this one early, should they just not make any huge mistakes. But it's going to have to be quite a few mistakes in a row for Flashpoint to get back in this game.
Yeah, and this bottom lane with Draven already sitting on that BF sword and Kate just having a Doran's blade and some potions, he's going to just be able to poke her over and over again until she can at least get some items to kind of combat this.
Yeah, now we see maybe the jungler coming over the help, but again, the damage advantage is just so much in the favor of Army Esports that they could very easily turn a 2v3 on its head. As the Draven has the axis spinning, he's got the damage dealt, and that's going to be Bittervet getting caught by another hook, but no damage to follow.
Yeah, they're just not able to get back in there to get that poke down that they need.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough lane. Keep going forward. As a Caitlyn, if you fall behind early, it can be so hard to come back from. Porkchop gets a disdain on Britchall up in this top, but will get devoured. There's going to be a lot of damage going on to Porkchop. There's going to be the devour. He's going to get knocked up. There's going to be the ultimate for the slow, but Britchall Morris coming out on top in that trade. There might be a little glimmer of hope for the side of Flashpoint.
Yeah, they're going to have to focus on getting that Tahm Kench fed. Even at that point, by the time they get to team fights, Tahm Kench is great in the laning phase because he can do that, run down his lane opponent. But once you get into team fights, he does kind of lose some of his power.
Yeah, he's a bully in lane, but he just really starts to fall off. But now Bovie looking to get the trade. There goes It's Me, That's OP, and because the dive is coming, they're looking to get the damage. He does have the ultimate for the execute, will not be able to get it, but it's still going to get the passive proc anyways. Now they're going to end up taking down Olaf. It looks like it. It's going to be one more tick, and that's going to be the kill going over to the Ahri. Invinciblez, though, over in this mid lane is trying to put the damage on Wairito. He is out of mana, so he will have to play this correctly.
Yeah, and they're trying to keep pressure to see if they can cheese this kill out of the Ahri. I think she can do a good job holding off. And
oh, man, Talented playing too strong, but he still has a heal. Might be a bait. He might get it. One more is going to do it. That's going to be a flash over the wall. He will trade his life, but he does cash in on the Adoration stacks. So I think he's going to call that one an easy win.
Yeah, that's definitely a worth to get those those Adoration stacks cashed in. And they're not going to lose a whole lot from that because they can't push the wave back fast enough for him not to be back in lane.
And now Army Esports, during that time, they did also take the Infernal Drake, which is going to be great for them. And we see Tahm Kench has picked up the Tiamat as well in this top lane. So Porkchop has to be careful. He's going to be continuing to lose these trades. He needs some jungle pressure now to try to keep him safe.
Yeah, the Tiamat pickup by Tahm Kench is definitely just to help him keep the laning phase going, keep the waves off, because he does have pretty slow wave clear against an Urgot. So it does help keep him off the tower and protects his plates.
Yeah, looking over at the items, we see that the Draven is already on an Infinity Edge at the 11-minute mark, so is feeling very good about his position right now. And actually, It's Me, That's OP gets caught up. He does have the E to get out of this wall. He will get the execute before he even goes. He just goes ahead and takes the kill and trades his life for it. So he probably could have gotten away, but he decides to just go full ham and get that kill anyways.
Yeah, and that's a decent trade support for jungle, so I would take that if I was him too.
Yeah, Rito looking for the all-in. He's going to get the tether and the empowered Q onto high. It's going to be a lot of damage, but won't be able to find the kill just yet. Talented in a 1v2, but I think he is pretty much in the situation that, like, you're stuck in here with me, he's not stuck in here with you, and that's going to be him getting the kill, getting the double, doing it on his own. He said, I don't need a support, I'll just be the carry anyways.
Yeah, we're having that Infinity Edge already finished. I mean, he's just putting out so much damage. He's going to 1v2 most people at this point.
Yeah, just absolutely insane. So well done by the side of Talented. Going to be very hard to get anything done against them. Now Army Esports has dropped the Rift Herald up in the top lane, looking to get some turrets down, and they're going to start to dive onto this Jarvan. Invinciblez went in, but he didn't want to be there. Went in before his Tahm Kench dude up there to try to save him. So now Britchall Morris is just trying to take down the Herald, but here we go again. Army's bot lane is just absolutely having their way. They are just dropping people left and right.
Yeah, and Britchall Morris was able to save the tower, get rid of the Rift Herald, so that's at least some consolation there that they were able to have them use the Rift Herald without losing a tower for it.
Yeah, small glimmer of hope for them. So hopefully, they can make something of that. But Army Esports once again is just setting up this brush change. They have all the wards that they possibly need. Bitter Vet smells something fishy. Doesn't want to be the one taking the one-way trip to the depths below by this pipe, but now here we go. They're going to finally reveal the trap. They have sprung their trap card, but they don't find it. Now Wairito in a bad position in the mid lane is going to be able to get away. Roots to Tahm Kench under the turret. That's going to be the grayscale pops. And now Valencia wants to go in. He goes on unstoppable. He goes insanely fast, and they start taking him down. That's a double kill. Invinciblets wants to get in. He sees 2 low health turrets or targets, and he's going to try to turn this one around. Rito able to get the flash. Valencia coming back up. That's going to be one more axe to slow him down, and that's going to be another kill going over the Army Esports, just turning things over and over again, and they're just running away with this game. 19 kills before the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, and that was a great flash out by Rito to get the space that they needed for Valencia to come back and turn that gank around.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Very well played by him. Good job by Rito too, to manage his spells, manage the mana pool so that he was able to keep himself alive long enough to get out of that gank.
Yeah, now they're going to go ahead and take this first, or actually this will be their second tower because they already got top.
Yeah, I think the side of Talented and It's Me That's OP don't really care about taking the turret. They rather just be able to continue to farm these kills. So they want to hold their opponents in lane for as long as possible here.
Yeah, Jarvan might try to sneak in here, but I think it's going to be an uncontested drag.
Yeah, It's Me That's OP just went in for, I believe, a solo kill. Misses the execute. Here comes the Draven Axis back on the other side, and Talented gets it. Oh my god, what a play by Talented to be able to find that ultimate on the other side. The Whirling Death was great, and now Valencia has been locked under turret. That's going to be a big heal coming out to save his jungler, and now the teleport's going to come in from the Karma. They want to make this dive happen. Remember, there is no ultimate for It's Me That's OP or for Talented, but they don't need it. But here comes the Ahri over the wall, high looking to clean it up and try to turn some things around. There's going to be another charm and ignite, but they're going to stay safe. They're going to keep this play going. That's the flash. That's going to be the outplay. Valencia goes low. He has to run. And Army Esports, a bit of a waffle on that dive, but they do get a couple kills either way.
Yeah, that was some great movement by High. Was able to get in there and get the shutdown gold, and then when it looked like they were going to dive her 4-0, she was able to get away.
Now we see once again up in the top lane, Porkchop trying to turn things around here. Not going to be able to, take down this Tahm Kench, but there goes the Gray health, so that might be Porkchop's opportunity to go ahead and engage. He's looking to get the Disdain inwards. He's actually going to use the ultimate for the slow. He's going to close the distance. That's the Gray health coming back up. A few more shots, and the Meat Grinder is open for business. The Butcher Shop is keeping their doors open as they've got Catfish on the menu. Now Army Esports looking to just go ahead and reset here. The Mountain Drake is up on the board, so let's see if they decide to prioritize that. But they still have another 3.5 minutes to the until the Mountain Drake comes up.
Yeah, and this was the point of the game yesterday where U.S. Army Esports just showed superior team rotation, just pushing the objectives every time that there was a response. They rotated to the next objective on the map and were just able to take towers and push into base just one lane at a time over and over again.
Yeah, so now Army Esports looking to continue their dominance in this bot lane. We have the Draven already on 2 full completed items compared to the pieces that the Caitlyn has for right now. So they're just going to continue to bully this lane. They're going to have to start to call for some support from allies as they're just getting picked apart by every single axe.
Yeah, and nice flash over the farm.
Well done, but it's going to be the Glacial Augment that's going to keep them alive for now. The rest of the team is looking to respond to this play, but they're not going to find it. Just going to be some disengages. But there's Bitter Vet getting caught out. That's going to be the ultimate from It's Me That's OP. He's got High in his sights. He still has the cooldown going on the ult. He wants to find somebody else for the reset, but not able to find it yet.
Yeah, that was a good job. Oh, there's another hook.
Yeah, there's going to be the ultimate. There's going to be the ignite. He might be able to take him down, and he does. He will not get the passive reset on the ultimate, but still gets the kill nonetheless. Here we go. Britchall looking to get onto this Draven. Talent is going to be caught out, and that's going to be the shutdown going over to the Jarvan. Well played by Flashpoint, but here comes It's Me That's OP. Oh my god. So much damage from this guy. That means a flash from Brickshaw is going to have to come out just to keep himself safe. You know you're having a rough game when you've got to run for your life from the support.
Yeah, and that was I do want to say that was impressive by Brickshaw Morris. I'm coming in there and going in against that 2-item Draven, being able to lock him down, pop the Greyhound at the right time, got the Devour at the right time. And that is the one thing about Tom Kench. If you can build around him as the team, he can 1v1 a fed Draven.
Yeah, if the Draven can't kite properly, you're just going to run him down and get that damage that you need anyways. But now we see Army Esports setting up now for this Mountain Drake. This will be their second Drake of the game, and I expect it to go uncontested here.
Yeah, Jarvan's up in the top, so they're not gonna contest this at all. So this will just be a free Drake for Army Esports.
Yeah, a well-timed Mountain Drake, though, because we do have the Baron coming up in just 1 minute. Now it's me that's OP. Once again, back onto Bovie. Misses all the spells, though, but still gets a good amount of damage. But now it's a 1v2, and it's me that's OP has pushed too far. He's playing a little bit too aggressive. He's going to have the E cooldown soon. Able to dodge the Q from the Blitzcrank. Here comes the TP, though. It's going to be Urgai, who looks to get the shots, looks to get the damage. Karma's going to be coming to save the day. Talented's able to take down Bovie. Pork Chop is able to take down the Blitzcrank, and Army Esports collapses on that play. And now they're looking for Hyde. He's able to get the pool, not able to find the stun. That's going to be the execute going wide as Ari pops the ultimate to make the distance. The Whirling Death isn't going to complete its mark, but it's going to be damn close, as it's me that's OP close to the distance. But Karma is able to get the kill. Invincibleds is going to get caught up, and oh my goodness, there used to be champs on this map, but they've just been absolutely obliterated off of Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, and Army Esports is just taking everything. Tom Kench is up on the top trying to take the conciliatory tower.
Yeah. He just, you know, trying to get that consolation prize. Any bit of gold that they can get, they're going to take. And now everybody, they're flashing in all the way at the turrets. It's going to be rough for them to get anything, though. Army Esports looking to maybe make this their game-winning push, as Draven is just shredding everyone. Every single axe is landing. He's getting the catches, but finally they're able to take him down. Now Invinciblades is going to go low. Caitlyn is free firing on the backline, but with only one item at the 20-minute mark, it's going to be hard to get any damage. And so now Army Esports makes the call to go ahead and pull back before they get caught out too far.
Yeah, they are probably going to take this third inhibitor or the second inhibitor in the bot before they leave.
Yeah, oh, it's me that's OP. Does so much damage on the execute. They're looking to get onto Brickshaw Morris. It's going to be a shutdown going over to the Tom Kench, but that means he's going to take a one-way trip to the gray screen as he ends up getting taken down by the ultimate of Urgot. Army Esports is just not pulling off this play. They want to stay in the base. They have 2 inhibitors down, but they've lost both of their high AD damage threats. So I think for now they're going to go ahead and call the reset, and I imagine that Baron might be on the table here.
Yeah, they got super minions pushing in on 2 waves, so I don't think that Twisted Sin, or I'm sorry, that Flashpoint, excuse me, is going to be able to come out and contest that Baron if they choose to take it.
Yeah, going to be a little bit rough for them to really get anything going. You know, maybe they can hope for the Jarvan steal, but he is 3 levels behind before he is able to you know, get that smite. So you have to remember that's going to be 150 less damage on the smite. And Talented meeting his biggest foe of the day. The Baron was taking him low. He has to pull off of it.
Yeah, that was an ambitious solo Baron play there.
Yeah, especially with the no Bloodthirster. He does have a Blade of the Rune King, which is great and all, but still it's going to be a little bit hard to do. But now he's got an ally. He's got Pork Chop there. You have to remember as well, you get a Baron debuff when it's the one that's damaging you. You do lose a portion of your damage, and now we see the TP coming from Karma as well. No contest. It means that they don't even need a smite there, and Army Esports has Baron on 5.
Yep, so it looks like they're going to go ahead to this top lane and push out, get this last outer turret.
Yeah, they're looking to take it on and put the damage down on Brickshaw Morris. They're able to find it. They're able to take him down. Army Esports is just running through with this game. That's going to be 2 players dead for the side of Flashpoint. You have to imagine this is going to be the game-winning push.
Yeah, with the Baron buff on 5, I don't think they can... There's not going to be anything unless they can get a lucky catch on Draven, get him out of the fight, and then be able to just win a team fight. That would just be prolonging the inevitable, though.
Yeah, Army Esports, the super minions are pouring in. They are buffed up. That's going to be It's Me That's OP, almost taking down the mid lane carry. Not able to find it. There's a Word in Death. There's the flash on the fountain. There's going to be the triple kill going over to the Draven. Army Esports are putting on a clinic as they win our first game of this Sunday's tournament series.
Yeah, and that was another dominating performance by U.S. Army Esports. They took an early advantage and then again just moved along very well as a team, and took all the objectives that they needed, pretty much dominated the map the entire game.
Yeah, very well done by them. They played a super strong game, coming out firing. They played to their win conditions, and they looked amazing doing it. So going to be poised to move into this final that they have just secured themselves a spot for with that win.
Yep, they didn't take it easy. They went out there and knew that if they won, they were in the final, so they just went and took it as fast as possible.
Yeah, so with that, they did put destiny in their own hands. They will be in our finals today. So now our next match of the day is going to be Grunto Esports versus Twisted Sin. It's a tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. This rivalry goes back ages. I'm not sure. I'm speculating, but I imagine it's going to be a heck of a game and a barn burner. What do you look to see out of our next game?
I just expect to see both teams going all out. I expect there to be maybe some surprise picks. They might just throw caution to the wind and try some things. But I'm really excited. I think this is going to be fun. There's going to probably be a lot of BM during that match and a lot of aggression.
Yeah, it's always the most fun when you get to see those things. So I hope that we get to see that kind of fight and those kinds of back and forth as we move over. We're actually going to end up talking to the Draven from our last game who was talented. So we're going to jump over and do a quick interview with him. All right, talented. Well done today, man. You got to play your your favorite champion that you have. Got to pull out the Draven. How did you feel about getting that pick? You guys made it look easy.
We wanted to go in there. They didn't ban it, and they made the mistake. I think they banned the Lucian. They saw I had a higher win rate on the Lucian. But Draven Pike is just such a dominating lane. We went Karma, so that was going to protect us if things went bad, but it went exactly how we thought they were going to go.
Seemed like it did. And depending on the next match, U.S. Army will be facing Twisted Sin once again. Are there going to be any fears going into this rematch, or is there going to be a lot of confidence?
The confidence is gonna be the same. We're gonna have the same amount of confidence. Our play strategies that we're kind of going through right now, I don't think we're gonna have a problem with it. We weren't expecting them to come out pretty as heavy-handed as they were last time, but yeah, we definitely have something for them.
Yeah, hopefully we will. And are we going to be seeing another Draven play during the finals? Or depending on who you guys are going to be going against, are we going to see him being banned?
I mean, it's all, it's what the fans want. The fans like to see the Draven come out, but let's see. I don't know. We'll see. All
right, so we know you always put in your status, and so I've got to ask you, we all know the Army was back-to-back World War champions. Are they going to be the Summer Brawl MGL champions as well?
I have 100% confidence going in saying that we definitely are going to be, we're going to continue the streak, and we won't let any of our fans.
Well, there we go. You heard it first coming from none other than Talented, the ADC. Thanks so much, man, for coming on and talking to us. I appreciate it. Good luck in the finals today. With that, guys, we're going to be throwing it over to a break. We appreciate you guys. We're going to have Twisted Sin versus Grunto Esports coming up next. So, guys, stick around and we will be back for Game 2 of this Sunday's matches for the MGL Summer Bash League of Legends Tournament. All right, and welcome back, everybody, for Game 2 of this Sunday series as Grunto Esports looks to take on Twisted Sin. Once again, my name is Andrew Mercy Taylor, and I'm joined by none other than James Gamer Tribute Johnson. We just saw a bit of a barn burner between Army Esports against Flashpoint as Army Esports just rolled over their opponents and absolutely decimated. But we are looking to see a strong back and forth as Grunto faces Twisted Sin.
Yeah, this is going to be a very competitive match. These are two teams that know each other very well, are very competitive with each other. Let's see if Twisted Sin is suffering from any hangover. They didn't get to play yesterday, so they might not be as fresh. They did get that win by forfeit, so let's see. Make sure that they're on point today.
And so I was mistaken about how this can shape up and what the finals looks like. If Grunto Esports wins here, that will force a 3-way tie between our top 3 teams. So each team would be 2-1. What that means is that we would go to our rule book. And so for our rule book, it says that a tiebreaker will be decided between the length of time and wins against the teams that are tied against each other. So you would take your victories, you would add up all those times, and whoever did them the fastest, whoever won their games the fastest, would be on to the finals. So Grunto Esports can go ahead and put a spoiler in this one if they're able to take down Twisted Sin and force the tiebreaker. And from there, we'll be able to tell you who's going to be the teams going on to the finals. So it's going to be it's already a rivalry, but now this game means even more.
Yeah, there's a whole lot riding on this game, especially with those time constraints coming in. It makes you kind of wonder about what the strategy might be. Are they going to go for something that they can snowball and both teams win super fast, or are they going to just be focused on getting the win and nothing else?
Yeah, so they've got to remember, even if they win this, they got to try to do it in a expedited time. They want those victories to be able to push them into the finals. So guys, with that, we're going to be starting the champ select here in just a second. We're going to be seeing who is going to be taking this victory, who's going to win the champ select, as this game means so much that you can win or lose in this pick or ban.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a really important pick or ban phase. So we're into the first ban, and it's Soraka coming out from Grunto.
Yeah, so Soraka targeted over at D-Tub. He played the Tarek against Army Esports and had an absolutely dominant showing with that pick. He does a very good job of playing the Enchantress and Protector style supports, so they want to get him off that comfort.
Yeah, let's see what this first ban in response is going to be from Twisted Sin.
Yeah, it's going to be the Malzahar band pointed over at GE Loyalty. Want to force him onto something that maybe he's a little bit more uncomfortable with. And so now we're going to be seeing the bans coming out, and we might see some ADC bans as Jit Rames in their victory over Flashpoint had a just absolutely dominant game on that Draven.
Yep, and next out is the Rumble ban. That's definitely pointed at MCQ2 up in the top lane. He is a very proficient Rumble player, and I think
Yeah, he is a good Rumble player. He has had this banned against him multiple times. Still haven't seen the Pandario bans coming out yet, so they will ban Karma here. But Pandario, if you give him the chance to pick Evelyn, he's going to do it. So I expect for them to ban that champion against him coming up. But they will have another ban now pointed at Manatee Waffles with that Orianna.
Yeah, Manatee Waffles was dominating with that Orianna in his first game. Hit so many long-range multi-man shockwaves, so they had to get that away from him.
And so the final ban will be coming out from the side of Twisted Sin. We're going to see what they're going to end up rounding this draft off with for now, and it will be a Sejuani ban, which is going to be what Pandario played against Army Esports. So let's see if they decide to give Pandario that Evelyn. It's a little bit harder to execute in a 5v5, but the guy is so good on that champion that he can just make your team look silly.
Yeah, so it's interesting if they're gonna. So they take a Nautilus first. Will probably be support.
Yeah, more than likely he's going to be support. It's going to be interesting if they play it anywhere else. It can be played in the mid lane. We've seen AP Nautilus coming out with some of the buffs to his depth charge that, you know, you're able to clear waves fairly well and have a pretty large amount of burst damage. But now we see the Turret going to be picked up for D-Tub once again.
Yeah, he played really well on that on day one. They had a huge front line with the Tarek, the Sejuani, and was able to get multiple stuns. He looked really good on that Tarek.
Yeah, and so now they're hovering Elise in. I'll be interested to see if they actually take this champion. He can be hard to execute on, but it will be the Jarvan getting picked up for the side of Hato, who had an absolutely astonishing showing on his first game of the day against Army Esports on that Sejuani.
Yeah, and I like to see him do a lot with this Jarvan as well. He's a very competent jungler, and will be countered with the Zac.
Yeah, Zac is going to be picked up. Pandario, also, this is one of his bid champions that he plays. I really expected to see that Evelynn come out, but they want probably something more of a team fight presence, and Zac is going to bring that. They actually just did rework Zac a little bit, and now his ultimate is the same as the old ultimate, which was the Let's Bounce, so he just starts bouncing around and displacing everybody and just wreaking chaos in that blob form.
Yeah, and Vayne locked in for Jick Rames. So they're trying to put him on another hyper carry, let him scale up and start just putting down damage in these team fights.
Yeah, when you have the Nautilus that can sit next to you and peel for you, it's a pretty good feeling to be able to play that Vayne. But they are going to pick up the Cannon, which might go the Manatee Waffles here, as I see that he's played some mid lane Cannon before. And that AP Cannon, if it gets into your enemy team, that Slicing Maelstrom can just demolish everyone.
Yeah, they're looking to set up a good team fighting comp again for Twisted Sin, like they did on Monday. So you get Jarvan locking people into the box, Tarek ultimate keeping people alive, and then Kennen coming in with that shockwave and getting multiple stuns and more AoE damage on the whole team.
Right.
Yeah, now the bans are starting to come back out. We will see the Caitlyn ban, which is just going to be a respect ban to Steaming Bath. Caitlyn is a pretty good counter into Vayne, especially in the early game. And now we're seeing some more mid lane bans coming out from Twisted Sin, as Zoe is going to be one of the first bans, and they might look to go ahead and try to pinch the mid laner even further.
Yes, they're definitely trying to limit the champion pool for GE Loyalty, seeing if they can force him to one of his off picks. As another mid lane ban comes in.
Yeah, Ahri ban coming out, so double mid lane bans right there. They also banned the Malzahar earlier in the series, so that's going to mean that that triple ban is going to force Manatee Waffles onto something that's, you know, maybe a little less comfortable for them. But with that, Manatee Waffles does have the Karthus left open, and he plays a lot of Karthus.
Yeah, and that last Kaisa ban again, restricting the ADC pool for Steaming Bath, forcing him onto something that he might not be his most comfortable with, and he goes with the Sivir.
Yeah, the Sivir is going to probably be a pretty good pick here. You know, the side of Grunto is picking like they want to maybe have a pretty beefy front line, and Sivir being able to use those ricochets and get those boomerang blades off can do a lot of damage in a front to back team fight, whereas Vayne has to play it a lot more carefully because she has to tumble around and try to get the angles and make those fights happen.
Yeah, and I think that Morgana pick is going to be for GE Loyalty in the mid lane, to see if he can use those stuns, hold Kennen in place, and get some damage down.
Yeah, they will round it out with what looks to be a Vladimir in the top, a Morgana in the mid, and a Nautilus at the support role. So it's going to be an interesting pickup for them. So now you've got to decide, you know, do you want to put this Kennen in the mid lane? Do you want to take him top against Vladimir? Or do you want to give Manatee Waffles a Karthus? Oh my gosh, they're making me look great, man. I never get this.
So Kennen's going to probably go to the top, Karthus in the mid lane.
Yeah, Karthus in the mid, Kennen up top. So you're gonna have, you know, Kennen does have the opportunity to either go AD or AP. The AP is a much more team fight centric style where the AD can just shred turrets, I expect them to go for the AP build, because when you have this massive wombo combo where you can have, Karthus just doing massive damage for backline with Sivir, Jarvan going in, locking people in place with the cannon, you're able to just get so much damage off in those team fights, and that slicing maelstrom ultimate from the cannon can be just such a high value.
Oh, absolutely. Because you can stun multiple opponents, you can get AoE, and with that Karthus, he's going to just build up a lot of AP plus R to end the game. Even if Grunto is able to get out of those team fights, if they get out of them with low health, they got that Karthus ultimate to worry about.
Yeah, they have so much, even if you kill the Karthus, it can be so frustrating because all of a sudden now he's still doing damage to you from beyond the grave. And actually, we see Manatee Waffles elected not to take Flash in the mid lane. We can see some of the spells here. He has Barrier Exhaust, which is fairly interesting to me. He will be a target for the Zac that continue to go after, but might be one of those where he doesn't care if he dies. As long as he's farming, he's doing all right there. He can still get the damage off that he needs.
Yeah, they might just be looking to have him just lay out damage. Even like you said, from beyond the grave, he can still do a lot of damage. And they might be relying on the Taric ult they got. So with him and Taric with a double exhaust, might be looking to slow down the Vayne as much as possible, or even the Vladimir, so he can't use that blood pool to get out as often or as fast.
Yeah, both of these ADCs are playing the scaling ADC role, and they're looking to be protected by their supports with, D-Tub on the Taric, which we saw him play very well in Twisted Sin's first game, and then Nautilus for Jit Rames. It's going to be one of those where you want to be able to peel for your bot laner, so that way they're able to get out the maximum damage that they possibly can.
Yeah, and both of these teams are set up so that they will protect the carry. Let that Vayne and that Sivir try to get those crit procs as much as possible, and hopefully, I think it's going to come down to a matter of once they get into team fights, who's going to be positioned, who's going to be able to get through get to the back line and get on those carries.
Yeah, Sivir has a little bit of a safer time where she can use the ricochets in that W to go ahead and get that damage bouncing around the team, whereas the Vayne has to play on the knife's edge to be able to get that damage, always one step from either getting the kill or being killed. So it's going to be up to Jit Rames to see if you can pilot that champion correctly. Now, when you look over at the Twisted Sin side, looking at their team composition, what is it that they want to accomplish in this game? How do they get to the victory?
I think they got to get that Sivir fed and get her to her items. They are going to have an advantage in the team fights, especially with the Jarvan, Kennen, and Taric. There's a lot of lockdown there and a lot of opportunity for both Karthus and Sivir to kind of sit in that. If they can stay good in a good position and stay behind their three that are going to lock down the other team and do damage, they're going to have a really easy time in those team fights if they can position properly.
Yeah, then when I look over at the side of Grunto Esports, this is a team that has, a lot of AoE damage in the way of Vladimir and Morgana. Vayne is going to have that single target pick you apart, and Zac is going to be looking to add chaos to the back line. So as our countdown timer has finished, we will be getting into the match shortly, but I want to take this moment to make sure that if you haven't done so, if you're not a part of the Military Gaming League, what are you doing, man? Military Gaming League is a great cause. They are an organization that brings together military service members, both active, reserve, and veterans together from all services to do the one thing we love, which is gaming. So we shared our service together. We joined a brotherhood that we all are a part of. And now you have the opportunity to, connect with people in something other than just, that desired shared service. You also get to share your passion of video games, and you get to be a part of a community that accepts people who are casual players, competitive players, and they can help you kind of push your brand or meet new people that are like-minded. So guys, make sure you join the Discord. Make sure you support Military Gaming League. You can support them by checking them out, their Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/Military Gaming League, you can make sure tournaments like this and competitive scenes continue to get pushed to active and veterans alike. So go to the Military Gaming League over at Patreon, or you can go to vertigear.com or aboostabove.com, both the sponsors for our tournament today. So guys, make sure you check them out, give them some support them for supporting us so that we can continue to do these kinds of things. And so, now that the pledge is done, we're going to be on to the Rift, and we're going to be looking for some action in this game as Twisted Sin will take on Grunto Esports for our final regular match of this tournament.
Yeah, and there is a lot riding on this, so let's see what we have going on if we get some level 1 shenanigans.
So Grunto looking to push the 3-way tie. The 3-way tie will force it to go to who has the best game times in their wins. They will take their 2 wins that they have against the other teams, right? So Grunto they're against the other teams that are in the 3-way tie. So Grunto, if they win, they would take their game time versus Twisted Sin. Twisted Sin would take their game time versus Army. Army would take their game time versus Grunto. And the teams that won in the fastest manner would be the ones that move on the finals. I know it's confusing. It hurts my brain. There's a lot of numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I just shout at screens.
So we have a pretty standard start here. Despite that 5-man rundown mid lane, thought we were going to get a little dance contest start off the match, but everybody just broke off and went to their respective jungles to kind of set up for this start.
Every time I try to explain this, Raidor comes in chat with like the 10 times better answer, which is who win quickest, quick win, slow lose. And then that's who goes on. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the way to do it. So yeah, if you're wondering who goes on, it's who win quickest, quick win, slow lose. And that's how you know. So pretty standard starts for both of our teams. Alicia's happening in both the red and the blue side. The junglers will be mirroring each other as they move across the map for these clears. We actually saw maybe just a short leash for the Zac, decided to start Raptors, is actually going to go for the full red side clear and then back and then go for that blue side.
Yep, and then Vayne already in the bot lane, popping the Vayne flare. We know Jick Rames likes to BM and an emote a lot during the game, so...
Yeah, he is somebody that is a passionate player in game for sure. He's even got that Soul Stealer Vayne skin, which is one of the ones that you can only get from the headset chest. So he either got very lucky or he spent a lot of money to get those get that RNG to get all those gemstones. My guess is the latter, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've been playing for 3 years since when gemstones came out, and I have 2. So yeah.
Yeah, I've made my way up to like I think 7 now. And I still know that the other 3 will never come. But now we see, the side of Grunto Esports is getting the better in this bot lane pressure as they're able to force a bit of a freeze and going to make D-Tub walk up to this wave. That's going to be a quick hook coming on. That's going to be the stun landing. But here is Pandario forcing the flash out of D-Tub. Well-timed lane gain from him. But him showing on the map just gave so much pressure to the Jarvan to invade on that blue side.
Yeah, and that was a nice early gank. Got out some summoners, so gonna allow Jick Rames and Broken Blade to keep that pressure up in bottom lane.
Yeah, I really appreciate that gank, but again, it's one of those where if it doesn't pay off, you end up losing so much, and we can already see the Jarvan has double the farm of the Zac.
Yeah, and Zac's going to head back into his jungle and find that, maybe he'll bypass, but if he was going to go back, he'd find that everything is gone.
Yeah, he cleared his red side, and Jarvan did almost a full side blue clear as well. So his blue buff will be out of the picture. He will get some other little minions going on. But for right now, with that pressure in bot lane, Vayne, if she gets some early kills, can be a menace because she can hit that late game power spike so early.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to try to get her ahead because if Vayne hits that power spike, we saw what Jick Rames could do when he's ahead in the matchup. So they definitely want to try to avoid that.
Yeah, Pandario coming over the top for this game, but it's going to be MCQ2 getting a lot of damage down. The slapping strikes are going to bring him back into contention. Now he's trying to use the charged rush to try to get out of the picture. Pandario still looking to get the damage, but MCQ2 playing it well up in the top lane, able to get the damage and get away and burn 0 sums in the picture.
Yeah, that was a really good job kiting and taking advantage of his stuns when he had them, and just making sure he kept the distance so that he couldn't get collapsed on by both.
Yeah, Pandario making the repeat gank, gonna miss the slapping strikes, and once again, you know, all the credit to him for getting in these lanes and trying to make things happen, but he keeps losing out on a lot of experience, and so, you know, he is down 2 full camps, and Jarvan is looking to punish here. They did not see him leave that lane, but now Jarvan sees that, you know, most of those camps are gone. They're gonna have a good read of where that Zac is going.
Yeah, so they do have some vision down in that topside jungle, so they can see if Zac does come back for one more gank.
Yeah, Lychee Red T, very good use of that pool to make sure he can get away from that gank, but has been getting pressured, but staying up and farm. Might have to burn the TP to get back the lane.
Yeah, right now, bot lane. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Silver tried the spell shield. You can't spell shield autos, unfortunately. Steaming Bath was probably thinking maybe the Condemn was coming out, but no mana for you. All right, let's see that. You know, still no backs for either one of these bot laners. They're sitting on a fair amount of gold, almost 1,600 for both of them. So we expect the bot lane to go ahead and try the turn, but now we see D-Tub lane, a good stun. The dredge line will not find its mark, but here comes Hato. He's walking over a ward. They know this is happening. The Condemn will not get the stun, and that means no play is to be found on the bot lane.
Yeah, Sivir with no mana and not to level 6 yet, couldn't speed up the team to help them collapse on there. So they were able to get out and see that gank coming. They've had that river ward that was spotted out, the Jarvan coming down.
Yeah, it's best for these junglers to try to make some pressure in this bot lane just so they can maybe get off a good back at least here. And we will have what looks to be a quick pause coming out from one of our teams. So it might be a disconnect or something going on. Yeah, not seeing anything in the chat yet, but you know, as we're right here, we can take a look at the current game state and how this early game is going. So yeah, there was some lag in the top lane, it looks like, apparently, so they're going to go ahead and do a quick reset. They're going to give a warning whenever they're ready, but as we look across the map, we can kind of see that everything's fairly even, other than in this mid lane. Karthus has almost a 20 CS lead and sitting up about 600 gold over the Morgana over on the other side.
Yeah, he's been able to use the range on his Q to kind of keep her pressed under turret, keep her away from some of the farm that she would like to get. One of the disadvantages of the Morgana early in mid lane is she's got a lot of CC and a lot of things that she can do, but she cannot clear the lane just as quickly until she starts getting some AP built up and some items in her kit.
Yeah, so we'll see when we're going to get back in here. Hopefully it's going to be fairly soon. You know, the canon into the Vladimir matchup, we're kind of seeing where Vladimir does not have a lot of cooldown at his disposal yet, so he's having a very hard time trading against MCQ2, who has just been putting the pace on Lychee Red T in the top lane.
Yeah, MCQ2 has been doing a great job of using his range, like we saw in that gank. Even though we are back in action.
Yeah, back onto Summoner's Rift. Everybody is no longer lagging, hopefully. So we will have this game started right back up, and you know, we're gonna just see a bit of a slower pace than what we've been used to. We're gonna make it to maybe 8 minutes before we see our first blood. So that's been a not trending theme for us.
Yeah, so now we're going back into pause, and it looked like the MCQ2 DC'd on this time, so I wonder if they were still getting the reset ready.
Yeah, so they're gonna gonna have this reset once again. He's just going to connect and disconnect. He is back in and onto the rift, so hopefully we'll start right back up here in a second. That's the nice thing about having this tournament draft style is that if you need these pauses, they are there. So they're taking advantage of it. You only get so many minutes, but I don't think we're going to crest that 30-minute mark. Hopefully not. That'll be a lot of time for us to fill, and I don't have that many informative things to say.
So I will say that at 7 minutes and 19 seconds of the game, with Twisted Sin only holding a 700 gold lead as a team and no kills on the board, this is definitely the slowest paced game we've had. We don't have one team jumping out way ahead yet, and we're not in double-digit kills yet. So we'll see how this slower pace pays off.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different look for us here. So it makes us have to figure our game out, figure out what we're going to talk about. Just most of the time we're just yelling about some kills that have happened. So now it looks like we have all the players back. We should be starting back quickly, and it seems as though Grunto Esports took the opportunity of Twisted Sin having some computer problems to go ahead and use the bathroom. So that's what the extended delay is on this one. So we should be started up here in a moment.
All right, so I will take this advantage to talk about. We've gone through our rosters. We've done all of our bios. We have some great players from all branches of the military here. I do have to say that I do feel like the lone Air Force representative going on for this tournament, and I'm just doing some casting. I'm not even playing. So all you guys in the chat, all you guys that have Air Force friends, let's get some more Air Force people in here. I think we can hold our own with U.S. Army Esports and Grunto and Twisted Sin and Flashpoint. We need to get out there and represent.
I mean, you guys already sponsor Cloud9, so you just got to call them up, try to get them in there, trying to get them be a part of this.
I'm putting Sneaky as my ADC. So
there you go. Yeah, so we see some training once again in the top lane. NCQ2 looking pretty proficient on this Kingdom pickup. Has been playing this matchup very well, trying to keep the pressure on Leechy Red Tea. And it can be a bit of an issue with the Vladimir because you feel like you're doing so much damage and all of a sudden he just starts healing it all up again.
Yep. I hate laning against Vladimir. Every time I think I'm doing well, he just backs off and then he comes back and he's got full health. So
yeah, now there's the Slice and Maelstrom onto Leechy Red Team. NCQ2 goes back into the brush trying to get the damage down, and he is able to do it. It looked like it might have been a bit of a disconnect or something maybe, but or it might have just been, Leechy Red Tea accepting his fate was not it. He did have a DC, so man, back and forth DCs. They must have Boingo internet. That's what I had in the barracks. So these Braits brought to you by Boingo. So unfortunate once again, we've got another pause, but it looks like it's going to be a connect right back in afterwards.
Yeah, don't lose us any future sponsors. Boingo might be all right.
Hey, they seem like a great sponsor. I'd be super happy to have them. They can only work with what they got. When you've got just like the old school telephone lines that are the only thing in the army barracks, and you gotta do what you gotta do. We're not like the Air Force. You guys have so much fancy stuff.
Sometimes.
All right, so we are right back into it. Vladimir taking the death. Unfortunate for him. DC not on his side, not able to to escape the latency issue. It ends up being the Grim Reaper, and that's going to be a kill going over the MCQ2. So he will take that happy accident anytime, man. Oh, Pandario trying to make the jank. There goes the Litz bounce. That's going to be a flash, but Jarvan is coming in. But now we're looking at the bot lane. We see the ultimate coming out from D-Tub. That's going to be the Karthus ult. That's going to end up getting blocked by it. And now we have the Blobless coming down on Zach. MCQ2 able to take down Pandario. A good depth charge is going to be able to knock up to D-Tub going low. A flash, and he's going to be able to finally get the vision. Jit Rames is able to take him down, and now Steaming Bath in a bad position, trying to get the damage down. There's going to be a flash to make the distance. He actually might get away. Boomerang Flame going to be dodged out. Dredgeline not going to be able to find his mark. Broken Blade needs to get an auto attack to get that root into place. The ping are coming down, but not going to be able to do anything. Steaming Bath is going to go low. Jif Rames is going to get 2 kills, and the Vayne is on the board.
Yeah, and they really needed to get him both those kills. Start getting Jif Rames fed, and get him really getting to his item power spikes.
Yeah, he's already got the Bilgewater Cutlass. We'll be going for the Blade of the Ruin King first, and then we'll probably see the Jinsu's Rage Blade, but no time to talk about that as Lychee Red Tea in a bad position, tries to flash away, gets stunned in place, going to be able to get the Tides of Blood, but not going to be able to find anything else. Hado is able to take him down.
Yeah, and along with with those kills down in the bot lane on Jick Rames, he's also accumulated, getting close to a 30 CS lead at this point in the game.
Yeah, 30 CS lead, but the rest of his team is losing out in farm. A good tumble away is going to keep him safe as he has no mana and did not take it back after that the pickup of 2 kills.
So he's going to head back now, pick up an item. Looks like they're starting to roam bot with Zach coming this way. And GE Loyalty had started to step out, but heads back to mid lane to get some more farm.
Yeah, now as he comes back, he will have the Blade of the Ruin King, able to finish that compared to the bit of a garage sale items that Sivir has. She's working towards that Essence Reaver first. And so now, you know, coming back in the lane, Vayne is going to have the damage priority going into these fights, and will also have that CC. And we see Pandario trying to be a little sneaky on the side. Here comes the Elastic Slingshot, looking to land it onto Steaming Bath. There's the smite. There's going to be the stun. The spell shield's a little bit too late. The ultimate might keep Steaming Bath safe, and it does for now. A tumble in with the Blade of the Ruin King is going to mean Steaming Bath goes low, but nothing to follow after that play.
Yeah, force Sivir to pop the ultimate so they can get out. So they'll take that. Some summoner spells blown as well. And Vayne will just continue to pressure this lane and push forward. Trying to delay the cash in on that coal that Sivir decided to take as long as possible.
Yeah, trying to keep the Sivir down. Sivir will, like we had talked about, will get some damage. Vayne has a better 2 item spike, but now Lychee Red Tea once again getting caught up by the Slicing Maelstrom, goes low. He's going to have the Hemoplate to get a lot of that health back though, and so we can see where that issue starts to come through. And for one of the first times we see GE Loyalty come on the map, the mid lane has been pretty quiet as we've just been bouncing back between top lane and bot.
Yeah, but that left Karthus to get some free hits and has 2 plates down on that mid lane turret.
Yeah, now, oh, the Dark Binding goes wide, but they're going to be able to get the Slapping Strikes onto Manatee Waffles. He's going to get knocked up in the air. They're just a Morgana ultimate. They're looking to get the damage. That might be GE Loyalty going down. He's going to flash, but here comes the Requiem. Just when you thought you killed him, he ends up going down. Hado has to try to flash away. The Death from Below is going to be able to get onto him, but now Broken Blade in a bad position. It ends up getting locked in the J4 ult. And Hado is going to get away with that play. Well done by the side of Twisted Sin to turn that play around.
Yeah, they did a really good job collapsing on that, getting the bottom lane rotation up into mid lane to help turn that fight really on point.
Yeah, well done by them, and their reward for that play is going to be the Infernal Drake. So huge pickup, going to be able to continue to push their pressure and their power as they need for these top and mid laners, their solo laners, to get ahead, because right now their bot lane is currently sitting a fair amount of gold behind at this point. You know, about 600 gold, definitely not totally detrimental, but this Vayne is starting to come unlocked.
Yep, and Sivir's going to back here. She will be able to sell that coal to get her items. You see Manatee Waffles going up towards Rift Herald, hopefully to just set up some vision, make sure that they can control that objective, because that should be next thing on the map for them.
Yeah, they've already taken the dragon. They've got pressure in both the top and the mid lane as well. So they need to play to their strong side. You know, this Sivir can farm pretty safely. Has the Boomerang blade as well as a Ricochet, and having the Essence Reaver done means that the mana is going to be there for the ability to spam those spells.
GE Loyalty starting to get dialed in with those long range stuns.
Yeah, MCQ2 once again does such a good job of getting out of that gank pressure. He uses the Slicing Maelstrom as well as that Phase Rush to just make the distance and clear that. Now Hado might be caught out, but uses the Blasting Kill to get over the wall.
Yeah, that was a good response there. Both junglers roamed up to the top. And now they look like they might be trying to chase down Zach, but we got another fight bot lane.
Yeah, all good. Tumble is going to keep him safe. D-Tub gets knocked up into the air. There goes a Taric ultimate, but it's not in time. Now there goes invulnerability onto the Sivers, so that's going to keep her safe. And now we see a fight once again on Leechy Red Team. Pandario trying to protect his top laner, but here's Manatee Waffles trying to close the distance. The Dredge line is going to land onto Steaming Bath. Jit Rames, though, does not want to be a part of this fight. He leaves the Nautilus to go down, and Manatee Waffles putting the pressure on this bot lane, trying to keep his bot laners alive.
That was a great roam down by Manatee Waffles and a great use of the range on his Q to keep Jit Rames back far enough so that they could pick up the kill on the Nautilus.
Yeah, MCQ2 going to use that lightning rush to get out of range. And we actually see Karthus pinging for the ultimate to come out, and they're able to pick it up. 1 HP on Steaming Bath. Jit Rames is going to be tilted after that one. It's not fair when you try to do a 1v1 and all of a sudden Karthus just drops his ult on you from the other side of the map.
Yeah, I think he had that. If it was like another half second to get that auto attack off before the Karthus ult went off, he would have won that trade.
Yeah, now Manatee Waffles once again. I talked about his Karthus, and the guy is disgusting on it. Turns to 1v2. Pandario making some uncharacteristic mistakes. If he keeps coming in for these games just a little too low on health, and then he can't stay around. And now he wants to hit the lens balance onto Manatee Waffles, and he does. But there's going to be the shield coming out, and that's going to be Manatee Waffles stays safe for now.
Yeah, so despite that early lead by Jit Rames, they were able to recover, get that first turret, and now they're going to control that lane. Nice pool to get out of there.
Oh, MCQ2 done played himself. He gets away with his life, but he burns the flash and the ultimate trying to make that play happen. Now Pandario goes over the wall, but here's the counter gain coming in from the side of Hato. He has been calling it. He's sat there and waited, knowing that this play would come, and now Broken Blade is stuck in a bad position. Followed his jungler in, and it might be to his death. MCQ on the other side picks up a kill, but here comes Jit Rames getting the shots down onto Hato. Oh, the Dredge line to take the kill away from Jit Rames, but now the bouncing blades are starting to come through. The ultimate is popped by Sivir. They are on the hunt, but they will find no one. All the while, though, in the top lane, Kinnan has taken down one of the turrets.
Yeah, that was a great. He had some great spacing, and was able to just poke out the Vlad, who thought that he could get in and get that kill after MCQ2 had blown his summoners and his ultimate, but he was just able to, again, to use his kiting and his stun to get that kill up there in the top lane.
Yeah, well done by him, but now we're seeing some of the damage coming out from the Sivir. Whenever, Steaming Bath is able to get those crits, they start to really hurt, and Jit Rames has to be willing to respect that damage.
Yeah, they're definitely at the point where Sivir is going to start to match the damage. If they can keep her safe and she can start poking, she's going to start getting those crits off more and more.
Yeah, Sivir is going to be such an impact in anytime we get these front-to-back team fights. And right now they're showing that they want to try and make these plays happen, but now Broken Blade might be cut out, and it's going to be Hato that is able to take him down. Now MCQ2 is here, and he does have access to the ultimate just now, but they will hit the blast zone and they will try to start this Drake up. You have to imagine, though, that Grunto Esports is going to want to try to contest this. We might see the flyby smite, and he's not able to do it, not in time. Going to be tough to pull off, and that means another Infernal Drake goes over to the side of Twisted Sin.
Yeah, so they're sitting on 3 early Drakes now at 18 minutes, and they should be. Looks like they're going to start moving up to the top lane, still keeping control of this river. They got about a minute and a half to take that Rift Herald, so see if they want that objective or they're just going to let it expire.
Yeah, now our teams look to start to rotate around this map. It does look that they have started that Rift Herald, and now they will move in force as 4 members start to move over to that Rift Herald, trying to finish it off. They will have, I believe, another 45 seconds at this point in time, and they won't need it as they're able to get that neutral objective down.
Yeah, so another objective taken for Twisted Sin. They are just kind of controlling every aspect of the map right now. And they have some deep vision in the bottom side jungle that Vayne is going around and clearing out. Jit Rames is going to get rid of all that vision, and hopefully they can start to push forward and take control of the map little bit by little bit.
Yeah, here comes the slingshot coming in to find MCQ2. He's going to use the Slicing Maelstrom as well as the Zonius, but the Tides of Blood are going to be able to keep the side of Lychee Red Tea safe, and that's going to be a shutdown going over to Vladimir. Much needed gold influx coming to that carry.
Yeah, the more gold they can get on this Vladimir, the better. That was a great job getting him the kill, making sure that he locked that in and got that shutdown gold. Because a late game Vladimir can be extremely oppressive in team fights.
You know, we'll see what he decides to go, rather. As he does have the opportunity, he can go for like the Oblivion Orb and try to make that flat pin with the Morellonomicon. He can go for the Leandries for that burn damage. You know, when there's not a lot of tanks on the other side, usually that flat pin is going to be what you want to prioritize in these kinds of matchups. Now Jit Rames is caught out, walks right into a stun. Manatee Waffle said, "Thanks, man. I appreciate the easy kill," as he gets stunned up and taken down.
Yeah, Jake Rames was just walking out into his own jungle without a support now and no vision, and just got caught out by all three Twisted Sins members that were down there.
Yeah, you've got to respect the vision game because they just had no vision in that one being seen. Now Pandario is trying to jump in. The last slingshot's good. Manatee Waffles, though, able to take down this Morgana. Manatee Waffles, in both the games that we have seen him, has looked increasingly good as he has just been putting on a clinic in the mid lane.
And they wait for this wave to push in. They're probably going to take this tower. They'll trade this second tier tower for the outer top lane tower.
But while they're grouped as 4, it's actually going to be Hato dropping that Rift Herald in that lane. So they're going to look to continue this push. And now Vladimir is going to have to back to join his team as they are just shredding these objectives. Jit Rames ends up getting caught by D-Tub. There's going to be the call to go in on him. The Slicing Maelstrom comes out. We see the Wombo combo as Twisted Sin just absolutely routs Grunto Esports in their own base. Now here comes the teleport to save the Zac under turret. That's going to be the flash coming out. Lychee Red Tea wants to go in. He's going to use the Hemoplate, but he's going to go so low for it. It looks like everybody should be safe. D-Tub even lives as well. The Requiem comes out, but it's not going to take anybody down. They're going to continue to push for the base. They're looking to get the damage down. And now looks like G Loyalty is able to take down D-Tub. Lychee Red Tea wants to find the rest of the team. He's going to use the Tides of Blood, but he's not able to get anything. The ultimate from G Loyalty comes out. The Soul Shackles aren't going to bring any souls down, but that Binding will, as he is able to take down MCQ2. And now Twisted Sin has overstayed their welcome. They have to start the run.
Yeah, so they got a lot out of that push. They got an inhibitor. They got one Nexus tower. Did get the kill back onto the Kennen, so that bought them some time. I think that if Kennen would have stayed alive, they might have been able to continue that siege and maybe got the other tower as well. So good job by Grunto to hold off a little bit and keep this going just a little bit longer.
Yeah, Grunto, it's extending this game. They will give themselves another chance to fight for this. They only lost one inhibitor, but they did lose one of their Nexus turrets, so they will have to keep that in the back of their mind. So now we look at the next strike as we start to see our team setting up for vision. It will be another Infernal. So third Infernal could be coming out for the side of Twisted Sin, so they will prioritize this over the Baron.
Yeah, getting that third Infernal, especially onto someone that's getting stronger and stronger like Manatee Waffles. You put that third Infernal on him, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, tons of damage. I believe it's an 18% increase on both AD and AP. I'm not totally sure on those numbers. Like you said, I'm not a numbers guy. I just shout at screens. So after they take that Infernal, they will walk their way over to the Baron to start that up as well. They want to do this as cleanly as possible.
Yeah, so it looks like they have total control of the vision here. Zac is back in base still, so they might have this burned down by the time he even gets out there.
Yeah, so they're going to burn this one down. They're going to go ahead and drop the Redemption on top of the team just to keep them all healthy. And so now you have to imagine that the victory march is going to start for Twisted Sin as they look to continue to push this pressure.
Yeah, and they're going to start just moving as a team, using this Baron buff on all 5 to just totally keep track of everything.
Yeah, and here we go. This is going to be them looking for the tier 2 turret up in this top lane. Pandario's over on the side. He may want to try to go in. Now it looks like Hato has actually decided to take the pressure back to his opposing jungler. That means he has to use the last hit stealing shot to get over that wall.
Yeah, so they're going to try to group here and defend as best they can. I think, though, once Twisted Sin starts the siege, that they're not going to be able to hold either of these. Their defense is going to have to be at the Nexus.
Yeah, this is going to have to be their last game push, and it looks like Twisted Sin, once they win this game right here, this could be the fight that decides it, and it's going to have to be the side of Grunto making the call. Here comes the slicing Maelstrom. Kennen has gotten into the back line. That's going to be Nautilus being taken down. Morgana goes down. Zach goes down. That's just going to be the game as Twisted Sin Esports closes out this game in 25 minutes. They have guaranteed them spots in a spot in the final, and that means that Army Esports will be facing Twisted Sin.
Yeah, Twisted Sin didn't want us to have to do any math and figure out game time, so they went ahead and took care of that for us. Secured their spot in the finals with a really good dominating performance and good teamwork.
Yeah, it's solid teamwork. Again, drafting for the team fight, they play to their win conditions and play to their strength. So well done by them. And when we take a look at the damage charts, we see that MCQ2 and Karthus just did absolutely astronomical amounts of damage. Over on the other side, though, we have a fairly low damage composition coming out. The Vlad, the Vayne, and the Morgana only able to get a little bit less than 10,000. So had an issue getting that damage and finding what their team comp was meant to do there. And I think, credit to the side of Twisted Sin for drafting a straightforward team composition that just wanted to get in the fight and brawl, use that Taric ultimate and that Jarvan ultimate to set up for the MCQ2 to come in on that Kennen.
Yeah, MCQ2 did a great job on that Kennen. And like you were saying, you got Kennen, Karthus, and Sivir all with almost 16,000 damage or more. Sivir was just under that. And Vladimir being the top damage for Grunto with just over, about 9,000 in damage.
Yeah, well done by them. It's going to be a pretty decisive victory. And with that, we're actually going to be headed over to go talk to none other than the ADC from the last game, which was Steaming Bass. So we're going to jump in that room and do a quick interview with him and Curly Hair Maria. All right, so Steaming Bath, you came out with the Sivir this game. You played those team fights very well. You were able to position great towards the ends of the game, but talk me through how you made it through that early game with so much pressure coming from the side of Jit Rames.
So we D-Tub and I decided to play safe with just play it safe with the Cole, because I bought the Cole first item because it's pretty easy farm. So we just played safe under tower while our jungler was able to pressure the mid lane more.
We were definitely... Oh, sorry.
No, I'm done. You go ahead.
So Grunto had an amazing Draven play on Friday's match. Is there a reason for why Twisted Sin decided not to ban Draven? Were you planning on playing him? And do you think you would have been able to take him on if he was to play in this game?
We didn't ban the Draven out just because we thought the Karma and the Sejuani was more worth bans. And then when we saw that he picked, we were planning on banning Draven actually out in the second phase of bans, but since he picked Vayne the first phase, we just didn't ban out the Draven.
And so now, since you guys are going to be going against U.S. Army Esports, are there going to be any doubts, or are you guys confident that you guys are going to be winning this final match?
We're gonna play to win, of course. We're gonna just keep level-headed though while we go into it and play like we have been playing the past couple games.
So, final question to you: is there something different that you think that your team has to do mentally when you go into a best of 3? Do you think it's going to be, kind of a different strategy or a different approach when you're just doing these best of 1s?
We'll still go with what we're doing right now, but we also have some other comps we'll run if needs be in the second or third game.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Stevie Bath, for the interview. Very well played, and congratulations on the win. Good luck in the finals to you as you go to face Army Esports for the best of 3 series to figure out who our winner of the Summer Brawl League of Legends tournament is going to be for the Military Gaming League. So, guys, with that, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have the finals for the Military Gaming League Summer Brawl between U.S. Army Esports and Twisted Sin. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you stick around, and we will see you then as we start the action. All right, everybody, we are back, and this time we are bringing you the MGL Summer Brawl League of Legends Finals, as Twisted Sin Esports will be taking on Army Esports once again, and for a third time. My name is Andrew Mercy Taylor. I am joined by none other than the great, the amazing Times Man of the Year 2 years running, James Gamer Tribute Johnson. How you feeling about these games, man?
I am feeling amazing, Merce. Looking forward to getting into these games. Both these teams have played really well throughout the weekend. U.S. Army Esports, despite suffering a loss in their very first game, has just pretty much been dominant since then. They are looking like a really complete team. And Twisted Sin has also just been steamrolling their opponents in their last 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we actually have 2 of the captains from both the teams that are going to be representing for a pre-game interview. So with that, we're going to jump over, and myself and curly-haired Maria are going to be asking them some questions. So we're going to jump over to that lobby now. All right, so I am joined by MCQ2 from Twisted Sin and Y Rito from Army Esports. Guys, congratulations for making it this far. And I'll start with Twisted Sin. How do you guys feel about making it to the finals? Now to Y Rito because he's muted. Rito, how do you feel about making the finals, man? He is also muted.
So some technical difficulties
you got to
on
be
our
10%
end.
smarter than your equipment. All right, so MCQ2 is back. You just had a stellar performance on Kennen. How do you feel about making the finals?
Making the finals, Twisted Sin, we came in knowing that we were probably the best competition that was going to hit this tournament. In MGL specifically, Twisted Sin continues to dominate all fields of MGL, and it was expected. If we weren't here, there would just be dishonor amongst the entire organization.
Yeah, so coming out firing with the confidence. Rito, how you guys feeling about making these finals for MGL?
Feeling pretty good. We got to watch this last game, and we're going to kind of play around what we saw from this game and then the match that happened yesterday. So we're feeling pretty good about this one.
Yeah, hopefully that goes well. And I'm trying to see if MCQ2, can you talk to me about Twisted Sin's daily training routine? How long did your team practice for on a daily or weekly basis?
So we practice about 3 to 4 hours every other day. Most of that includes hitting Sedge ultis on mid laners. We really make sure to trap that mid laner down and just permanently remove them from the game. It's one of our prodigy abilities, just making sure we delete somebody from the game. Legend has it, the U.S. Army mid laner is still trapped in a Sedge ult.
Yeah, he hasn't been heard of since that game, so that's pretty interesting. So now to you, Y Rito. What is something that you guys are looking to change and capitalize on this, and how do you think you're going to be able to beat Twisted Sin today?
I mean, we made the change, dude. I'm mid lane now.
Can you dodge Sejuani ultimates is the real question, I guess.
Well, it's pretty big AoE, so just, not getting directly hit by it is the goal here, which is not too difficult.
In other words, they don't require the brain to dodge a Sedge ult. Expecting the Sedge ban, Rito expecting the Sedge ban.
And we'll see. We'll see how the picks and drafts come out. We'll see the order of which you guys pick to see what we go for the bans. We talk about the Trolls Rondo, dude. That's what we want to see.
And one last question for Y Rito. Is there any advice that you would give to any team that's currently trying to improve? Would you recommend them watching the replays or something of that sort?
So when I first climbed for Masters last season, I literally watched almost every single one of my games rewatch, and I stuck to a small group. So if we're talking about a team, though, playing together and sticking to the style that they like to play to when they're trying to climb and learn together. So if they like that all-in, heavy engaged comp, they stick to that kind of a comp when they're playing together. If you're talking about solo queue, rewatch your games, pay attention to your mistakes that you make because you're going to learn more from that than you will just absolutely dominating games.
Absolutely.
Well, very well said, guys. Thank you very much for coming in and doing this quick pre-game interview. We appreciate it. Good luck to both of you. We will go ahead and let you guys go and get back to your teams as we look to start this champ select shortly. So, guys, thank you so much and good luck to both of you.
Thank you for
Army
having us
will
on.
need it.
All right, so we will be starting champ select in just a few minutes. It sounds like Twisted Sin is feeling pretty confident about this match today. Now, Gamer Tribute, do you think that's going to be an issue, or do you think they should have that confidence walking in here?
Oh, I think you got to have that confidence walking into this best of 3 finals. Both of these teams have looked really good their last couple games, so both teams are riding a wave of confidence coming in. So let's see how this goes. Well, I'm interested to get into this pick and ban phase and see how this goes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they want to do. We heard a lot of talk about a Sejuani ban coming out, so we might see that one getting taken away from Hato. He plays a lot of Sejuani, showed a really good showing on that Jarvan as well. But we'll see. You know, Detail looked great on the Taric in both the games that he played it. I expect for him to be put on some comfort here.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see who T-Sin is going to target with this first ban.
We must all make our choices.
So they're going to go with the Karma first, which again is a flex ban, so that takes it away from quite a few people, either Yrito, It's Me That's OP, or even Porkchop.
Yeah, Yrito had a pretty good showing on it last game. You know, not coming up with like crazy solo kills or anything along those lines, but coming up with a ton of team play, initiative, and perspective. Being able to, you know, buff his team up, keep his carries alive, make sure that Draven was able to pump out the damage. And now we see the Karthus ban over to Manatee. He was allowed to play that last game, and it looked like a terrible mistake to give him his most played champion.
Yeah, so U.S. Army Esports isn't going to make that mistake. They're going to take the Karthus off the table right away. I wouldn't be surprised to see all 3 of these first bans targeted toward Manatee Waffles. Both his Karthus game and his Orianna game in this tournament were pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's played everything fairly well. Now we do see another ban pointed over at Yrito at the Malzahar. They want to make sure that they're going to put him on something a little bit less comfortable. That way he has to maybe push towards a little bit deeper into his champion pool, and we might see some mistakes coming out if he does that.
Yeah, so far we are 100% mid lane focused. Let's see what this... There comes the Taric ban, so we finally see something else other than a mid lane.
Yeah, so again, pointing at D-Tub, he's played it. You know, they've had 2 games so far that they've actually played with that 1 forfeit, so he has played it every single game that they've played this tournament, has looked good on it, and they've really been building team compositions around the Taric ultimate. So good adaptation from U.S. Army to get that one off the table.
Yep, and then the Urgot ban comes through towards Porkchop. He looked extremely impressive on that last time, and there we see the Sejuani ban that was very much hyped in the pregame.
Yeah, with this Sejuani ban, I looked to probably see a J4 pickup right here for the side of Hato. It was his most played champion, and there it is. He's going to go ahead and take it. They're going to prioritize that early jungle pickup for the side of Twisted Sin.
Yeah, Hato's looked really good on the Jarvan, so getting that locked in for him is definitely one of their priorities.
Yeah, now we see Army Esports thinking about drafting the bot lane here. It can be one of the situations where taking the bot lane early when you're over on red side is something that you kind of need to do, because if you don't pick at least one in this series, that means they can ban you out once it gets to the ban phase. So they will take the ADC, and we'll see what they want to take here, as they are going to be blind picking any of their solo laners if they decide to take them.
I would love to see them just take the Pike again and complete that bot lane.
Yeah, actually an Ahri hover for what would go over to Yrito. See if they decide to lock it in, and they do. It's going to be that Ahri mid lane that we've seen a couple times, and I'm sure he's going to be coming with that Glacial Augment.
Yeah, they'll definitely probably run that Glacial Augment again for Yrito. He looked really comfortable on that pick the last time he played it.
Yeah, and as Army Esports, they've only shown two champions so far this draft, but they still have what is looking to be kind of a run you down composition. If Ahri takes the Glacial Augment, you have Sivir with that on the hunt will be able to pop that and get her team into these fights. then I expect to see, Army Esports drafting for this like heavy chase composition that they can just run down their opponents.
Yeah, and with the Karma already out, they do lose one of the speed ups. But we'll see where they finish this off, if they're going to complete their bot lane or if they're going to take one of their other solo lanes now that they know who they're picking into. Probably picking into that Gnar in the top lane.
Yeah, going to be the Gnar coming out for the side of MCQ2. Maybe Porkchop will go ahead and take his pick here, as he won't have to show anything, and he will, more than likely. This could be a Jax in the jungle, but I think we're probably going to see it for Porkchop in the top lane. He lights that pickup into the Gnar.
Yeah, Jax is a good pickup into the Gnar because he can get on top of him with the jump, which helps him get away from, or helps him get into Gnar and not just get picked out by boomerangs the entire time.
Yeah, and so now the bans are going to start coming through. Right now, we haven't seen a ban come out yet, but it will be the Ezreal. So, the side of Twisted Sin did not pick their ADC or possibly their support in this last round. So this is what I was talking about, where if you don't take that, then the other team can start to pinch your bot lane and give themselves a favorable matchup in the bot.
Yeah, so I expect Twisted Sin to focus the supports here in their bans.
I won't hurt you. I promise.
So they do go with Olaf, so they are thinking that Jax is going to go top lane, so they're looking to pinch the jungle pool.
Yeah, trying to get Valencia on something that he doesn't play nearly as often. So now we see a rocket ban coming out from Army Esports, once again pinching D-Tub down in the bottom. So I expect for Army Esports to maybe play around this bot lane a little bit more even and try to get themselves a pretty big lead built up down there.
Yeah, this last ban should be interesting if they do another jungle pick or if they focus the bot lane and they take out the Yuumi support.
Interesting ban. It's me that's OP. He does play that, but he doesn't play it often, but it pairs so well with Sivir. So they decide to take that one away, even though Yuumi received the nerfs in 9.12. They decide to take it off the board anyway. It's still a fairly strong champion, especially when we talked about, they're trying to get this chase down potential, and that prowling projectile can do exactly that.
Yeah, and then U.S. Army Esports is picking up the Lulu here, so they are going to look to really buff up this Sivir, use those enhancements, and get her really far ahead. I like the Lulu pick in the bot lane.
Yeah, Lulu is a fantastic pickup. Receives some small buffs, as well as just that ultimate is good at any point in time. The buff, the ADC meta, it seems to be coming back, and we will see an Orianna gonna round it out for Manatee Waffles. He had such an amazing showing in their first game, hitting shockwave after shockwave on Army Esports.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they let that slide through. He did a lot of damage to them in that first game. Caught a lot of long-range multiple-man shockwaves and really turned the tide for Twisted Sin in a lot of those fights.
Yeah, looks like they will round out with the Zhen Zhao here. So a team composition drafted by Army Esports that if it gets on top of you, you're going to have a hard time trying to escape. A decent amount of CC, a decent amount of damage can come from this composition. So, as we look across the board, how do you think this top lane matchup goes, as you've got MCQ2 on the Gnar, and we see Porkchop taking the Jax into it?
Well, we saw in the last game that MCQ2, when he was on that Kennen, he did a great job with his spacing and being able to kite away from the damage and the ganks. So if he's able to do that same thing, Gnar's got that bounce out of there. If he's able to do that, he's going to probably be able to push his lane. But if he lets the Jax get on him, if his spacing isn't as well, Jax is going to out damage him throughout the laning phase.
Yeah, Porkchop is no slouch when it comes to the Jax champion. He's able to, win a lot of trades, win a lot of fights. He likes to trade early and often, but we might see Hado, who's on his J4, try to punish that aggression that Porkchop likes to put forward. So, Hado on this J4, do you think it was a mistake giving him his most played champion, as he seems to be the one that has been shot calling and making sure that his team is in the right position?
I think that was a trade they were willing to take. Obviously, with only 3 bans in the first round, you can't ban out all 5 players and most played champion. So they had to make some decisions on where they wanted those bans to go. And I think they felt comfortable giving Hado the Jarvan. We'll see if he makes him pay for it.
Yeah, he looked great in the last game. He didn't go for that like full Chad build. He went for the Cinder Hold, went for that tanky, team play trying to comp, and I think he'll do the same as Twisted Sin has drafted for this Orianna that we talked about to have ball delivery systems in both the Gnar as well as the J4. So we have that Orianna facing off against Ari in the mid lane. Gonna be a bit of a back and forth, but Ari does have the execution potential when it comes to the Orianna.
Yeah, and the way he played her and the way he used the ultimate to win to secure those team fights in the last game is going to be really vital. As long as Ari Wairita looked really good being able to dive in and then kite out of fights in the last game. So I expect this one to be really back and forth in the mid lane, and not exactly sure who's going to have the advantage here.
Yeah, he did give us some kill pressure by taking the cleanse instead of the ignite, so that will have to be something to track. And then the Orianna does have the barrier over on the other side. Now in the bot lane, we've got Ashe and Morgana versus Sivir and Lulu. Both can put out insane amount of poke, so it's going to be a war of attrition down there.
Yeah, both of those are poke focused lanes with neither one of them really taking a true tank. On the side of T-Sin, you got the Ashe Arrow and the Morgana roots. And then on the side of Army Esports, that Lulu knockup with the ultimate and Sivir with the spell shield might be able to at least avoid some of those bindings, those dark bindings.
Now, when you look at Twisted Sin's team composition, what is it that they're trying to accomplish with this this team comp that they've drafted here?
So they're looking to really bully those team fights with the Jarvan ult, the Gnar ult, Orianna. Ashe has a global that can lock people down. They have so many stuns. Every single person on their kit has either a grab, a stun, or an isolate move. They're going to look to just isolate those carries and pick off people in the team fights.
Yeah, Army Esports on the other side, though, has kind of drafted for the opposite. They have a very good split push composition in a 4-1. They have a decent amount of peel. Their engage is a little bit lackluster, but their catch potential is pretty high. So they're going to have a bit of a harder time executing this team comp because, when you look at T-Sin, they know exactly what they want to do. They want to get into the fight. They want to group us 5. They want to force you to match them at every objective. And Army Esports needs to do the exact opposite. So when you look at these team compositions, who do you think is going to come out with the first win of the day in this final series?
If U.S. Army Esports is able to move around the map and take the objectives like they were earlier in the day and yesterday, the way they split pushed, the way they forced the other teams to rotate to them, and then we're able to move over to the next objective. If they can keep that up and avoid getting into those big 5v5 team fights, then I think that they're going to have a little bit of an advantage there.
Yeah, as much as I like the root for my home team and for Army Esports to be the ones that I'm calling on this one, I think MCQ2 and his team over on Twisted Sin have really drafted a very good team fight composition, and I think they have an easier to execute composition here. So I'm going to favor them in this matchup, actually. With that, we are quickly onto the Rift, and we're not going to see any shenanigans as it looks like our teams are just going to do a 5-point start.
Yeah, T-Sin started with a run up all 5 up middle, but U.S. Army Esports did the standard 5-person spread. With Lee Sin sitting in the middle, so they don't know which side he's going to go to start, top or bottom.
Yeah, and so more than likely, the Jhin likes to start on red. He might just start on his strong side as well. So we'll see what they decide to do with it. But it's going to be a lot of early game pressure can come from both of these jungles, as Jhin Zhao loves to do the red buff into level 2 gank, and Jarvan can absolutely get into any lane after level 2 as well.
Yeah, so I expect to see some really early ganks. So where Jhin Zhao starting up at red, if he wants to go for that top lane level 2 gank to help Jax, and that could be just mirrored exactly on the opposite side by Jarvan doing the level 2 gank on bot lane.
Yeah, the early game might kind of be the tail of the tape for us, as both of these team compositions, you're not really wanting to do the same thing. So it's one of those that the game is going to have to continue to play out before we even see. So like if a team gets a 5K gold lead, they can have a 5K gold lead and still keep playing to their win conditions if you're down, rather, and you can still win this game, right? Because Army Esports wants to split push, they want you to pull you apart, and Twisted Sin wants to team fight and force you to match them. So it's going to be who can put their game plan and force the other team to play their style is going to be the winner of this game.
Yeah, and I think we'll see how this plays out during the laning phase. I really think this bot lane is going to stay pretty even until there's some jungle intervention. I don't see either one of these bot lanes getting rowdy or out of control early in the game.
Yeah, now we see a level 2 gank getting set up. That's going to be the Sun, and that's going to be Valencia going in. He's going to be able to chase him down. Is he going to be able to get the strike? He does. First blood goes to Valencia, and I feel like I called it. He gets the level 2 gank in bot lane. Well played by him.
Yeah, that was a great gank, and so not only did they get the kill, they also blew the flash off. So one of the things we want to look for Lee Sin is to clear this jungle that he's invading and then come right back to the top lane since they got the flash out of Gnar as well.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see some vertical jungling from our junglers. Both are going to take their opponent's blue. He knows that he can't, that Jarvan is just going to invade his side, so he's going to go ahead and take as much as possible on that blue side.
As we see Jax jumping back in, just trying to keep Gnar at bay.
Yeah, a little bit of trading back and forth, but he should be pretty safe. The Jax didn't get that kill, but still has a decent amount of pressure in this top lane.
Yeah, and we see Manatee Waffles just continuing to land some good poke onto Ahri in the mid lane. A good spell shield by Sivir there.
Yeah, and so now we see, you know, some even trading back and forth, you know, bit of a farm lane, like you kind of said, in that bot lane. The Sivir doing pretty well here, and they're keeping the pressure, but, you know, Ashe and Morgana can get good poke going down. Now we see Detev trying to step up, but good trades back and forth, but here's a gank on the Manatee Waffles. He actually flashes over towards his jungler. That's going to be the barrier. That was just going to be one more auto attack to be able to get it. They're not going to be able to find it yet. It's going to be Wairito out of mana before he can do anything. No more flashes to expend, but Valencia does not want to give up on this play, and he does it, and he's able to get the kill on the Manatee Waffles. Valencia off to the races this game.
Yeah, that was a great full range poke by Valencia and chasing that down. I thought they might be able to get away. Orianna did a great job getting those ball shields on right at the right time. So
yeah, and so now we see MCQ2 has forced the Pork Chop out of lane, going to force the teleport to come back up. But now Pork Chop has double wand sword and has refilled his corrupting potion. So he's going to be feeling pretty good about these trades for now.
yeah, and I got to apologize. I think I had my blindfold on. I called Valencia's out as playing as Lee Sin, not as Xin Shao. So my bad. I was the blind monk. I apologize to the team.
You're good, man. We do them all the time. The fact that I get any of these right is surprising. Talented is going to be able to spell shield. That feels so good when you're against the Morgana and you just get the spell shield, all those dark bindings that come in, and get that little bit of extra mana back.
Yeah, Sivir in that spell shield is a really good counter to the Morgana in lane because it pretty much ensures that as long as you hold it and use it at the right time, you're not going to get caught by one of those dark bindings.
Yeah, once the level 6s come out, though, you know, he's going to have to decide what spell he wants to try to shield, because you have to remember the Ashe arrow. And now Pork Chop getting a pretty good trade on the MCQ too, but the wave being right pressed against him means he doesn't want to keep that trade going, because minion aggro can be such a pain in these early levels.
Yeah, got to really pay attention to the fight and where the minions are when you decide to jump in on those. Since they were pushed forward, he didn't have the opportunity to drop back into brush to drop the aggro in between attacks, so wasn't able to continue with that press.
Yeah, Valencia cleaned out some vision out here. He expended quite a few summoners all over the map, so no flash in mid and no flash in top means that Valencia is going to be able to try to make these plays and get his solar laners further ahead than they already are.
Yeah, so once again, they're able to push bot lane down under tower, and looks like they're going to, the Talented and It's Me That's OP are going to roam up, maybe just make sure that there's nothing happening around the Dragon Pit, and then come back to lane.
I'm sure the calls are being made, but here comes the ultimate coming out from Manatee Waffles, but Valencia is in tow to make sure he's able to help his teammate out, and it's going to be Wyrito getting the kill on Manatee Waffles, who was 0-2 at this point. A big turnaround from the first game that he faced against Army Esports.
Yeah, and I think that Army Esports saw what happened in that first game and knows that they need to keep him from getting any kind of advantage in the lane. So I wouldn't be surprised to see multiple repeat ganks back into that mid lane.
Yeah, taking advantage of that flash being down is what Valencia is going to be looking to do this whole time. Jin Zhao falls off in the late game, so he needs to make sure that he's asserting his pressure in this early game.
So that was a good example of the trade up top where Porkchop was able to jump in and get the damage down and not get kited out by MCQ2.
Yeah, he almost is able to take him down, but he uses that empowered strike. So there will be no further follow-up. But if he is able to land a stun, that could just be MCQ2 going down. Porkchop there is about making the bid play, but he decides to pull off.
Yeah. He's going to follow this under turret, this wave, with that wave pushing. Decides not to go for the all-in and get the kill. He'll go ahead and take the back and get some more items.
Yeah, smart play on his part. The Narbar was charging. He would have just procced the transform. And plus J4 was in the back pocket. He didn't know that, but maybe his spidey sense was tingling. But he sat up here and waited. Oh, the rock lands. And now just an MCQ2. That's going to be the wall up. That's going to be the stun. That might be Porkchop going down. Jarvan is going to be here. And now here comes the chase for MCQ2. One boomerang blade might be enough, but Jarvan gonna sneak through the brush, gonna look to come over and try to make this gain cabin. But once he realizes he's on a board, he's gonna pull off the play. But now Hato might be called out. A good ultimate in and a good charm from Wyrito means that he's gonna be able to turn this, and Porkchop able to take down Hato, getting that Jax. And a little bit of gold is gonna be massive, as he can just bully anybody if he gets ahead.
Yeah, that was a great roam up by Wyrito, recognizing that he could get in behind Hato and put down the damage where Porkchop could come in and finish off that kill.
Yeah, Porkchop gonna go ahead and push this wave out. Once he backs, he will have enough for a Tiamat if he decides to go for that one first. We might see the Sheen as well. He is sitting on 1,800 gold. He might be able to finish both with that Sheen being 1050 and already having 2 longswords. So we'll see what he decides to do. It will at least be the Tiamat finish. Yeah, plus the Sheen. So he is going to be in a great position to start dueling all the time.
Yeah, having the Sheen as well as the Tiamat is going to allow him to put a lot of pressure on that lane.
Yeah, now they look to chase down Valencia. They actually get the shockwave. He does not, or he does have the flash. He burns it now. Now Wyrito has come over. The charm's going to land as well as the Foxfire. And so now MCQ2 actually uses the hop in. There goes the flash in from the side of the Jarvan. A shutdown goes over to the side of the Gnar, and Hato goes low, but no counter kill coming through. A good follow on by the side of Twisted Sin to get themselves on the board.
Yeah, that was a good fight by Twisted Sin. They didn't give up when their health bars got low. They chased down who they needed to chase down, and Jarvan with the flag and drag over the wall was able to get that last knockup to secure the kill for MCQ2.
Yeah, we saw a good trade in the bot lane by the side of Talented, getting that damage down on the D-Tub, forcing the flash out of the Morgana. Almost decided to flash in to try to get the auto kill, but decided to hold off, and they will have some pressure here. But all the while, J4 has made a move to this bot side, so he might be looking to protect.
Yeah. U.S. Army Esports does have that bottom tri-brush warded, so if he comes in that way, they will be able to spot that out. They do seem to be controlling the vision game around their lanes while they're pushed up, so they should be pretty safe. And you see Xin Shao sneaking in here for the lane gank up behind them.
Yeah, I like this play. He's actually just going to show to get more pressure. He might have figured that J4 was going to be there for a counter yank. Decided to come down that way anyways, and so good play by him. Dark Binding lands from Dita, but they're still going to probably be able to clear that control ward, keep their vision superiority over on this bot side, and allow this Sivir to play as aggressive as she likes.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just letting her stay safe, free farm, poke when she needs to. And a big trade happening up top.
Yeah, Porkchop getting taken very low. Is going to have to run for the hills. MCQ2 one auto away from transforming. Will have that Mega Gnar. But now we're seeing the the headset GLP coming out for the side of Wyrito, so he will have those slows. That Glacial Augment that we had talked about is now online, so he finally has a real summoner spell. And so we'll see if he's able to get these picks and kind of add to the side lane pressure that Army Esports has.
Yeah, and everybody seems to be moving down to this bot side. What's setting up for this next dragon that will be up shortly. A lot of vision being traded back and forth as both teams clear and try to place their own wards. So about 17 seconds left on that dragon spawn. Zinchao has backed off and gone up back to the top.
Yeah, will be the Mountain Drake, pretty good early game Drake to get, especially while turret plates are still up for the time being, but it does scale very well. It will help you take Baron and objectives faster, which both of these teams need to make sure that they're doing, as Army Esports needs to be able to split Twisted Sin across the map.
Yeah. So far, Army Esports has been doing a good job of staying with their win condition that we talked about. And good binding saves the kill onto the Ashe.
Yeah, a great spell shield by Talented was able to keep him alive, but he gets the max range boomerang blade. But now we see a play happening in the top lane as Hato looks to try to run down the top, but not going to be able to find anything. They're playing safe, and now we see pressure being traded on either side as 3 have rotated top for Twisted Sin and 3 have rotated bot for Army Esports.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be having a tower race. But I think U.S. Army Esports definitely has the advantage. They're going to get this tower wave before T-Sin can get that top one.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and stick around. T-Sin's going to have a bit of a hard time even finishing it on this wave. We have Valencia in tow. He's going to be coming up behind Porchop to be able to try to get this play happening. They're actually able to lock him in place. That's going to be a shockwave, but Valencia takes down Hato, and that means that Twisted Sin has to run for their lives. MCQ2 tries to go back in. The Narbar is almost fully charged. He will transform soon. But all the while, Army Esports on the bot side, knowing that there is no jungle, have just started up this Drake, and we'll see if Twisted Sin's bot lane can answer.
They might be able to come in here and get a steal since there is no smite involved in this fight. Here comes the TP in.
Yeah, TP in, and Valencia and Porchop actually starting things off on the other side, but it will be Sivir being able to get this. There is no mana on anybody, so they don't have any spells to continue this up. It's going to be MCQ2 about to transform. One more hit's going to do it. Oh, but there's the transform. The wallop means a double kill goes over, and they picked up the Sivir in the mid lane. An overstay by Army Esports when they had the easy out means they give over 2 kills.
And that was a great job by MCQ2, knowing exactly when his Narbar was going to go off. I was just about to say that he was way over pushing his advantage and walking into that 1v3, but a great job by him knowing exactly when the Narbar would go off, when he could get that wall up into the wall, and they picked up 3 kills.
Yeah, well done by Twisted Sin to keep themselves in it. They did lose the double neutral objectives plus the tower race on either side, but they were able to pick up some kills and get some much needed gold. But Valencia is just running down Manatee Waffles. The dissonance is going to help. There's the crystal arrow to come in to save his mid laner, and well done by the side of Twisted Sin to be able to disengage from that rundown.
That's almost my second favorite ultimate save. My favorite save in lane is when you're about to get sniped and that Braum just comes and jumps in and saves you with a shield. I love that Ashe arrow across the map, though.
Yeah, we will. It looks like there will be a pause. So we are going to be just a minute before we come out of this. It's going to be a pause possibly by Army Esports to see what was going on. Yeah, It's Me That's OP was the one that paused the game, so they're going to go ahead and hold on. So we will have a short break while that's happening. But right now at the game state, as we take a look, we've got a 3K gold lead happening for the side of Army Esports. Farm advantages in the bot lane as well as the top lane. But Orion is still holding on fairly strong, is the only one that has a gold lead for the side of Twisted Sin.
Yeah, this is a fairly even game so far. Kills are only 6-4. I think that Army Esports is really holding to the game plan that we talked about before the game, where they want to keep it spread out, keep in the laning phase, and try to use those 1v1 advantages. We'll see how long they're able to hold that. Now that the turret plating has fallen, we'll see where the rotations come, and whoever whoever gets this first turret is going to have a big advantage.
And with that, we are back onto Summoner's Rift. The pause is done. The teams are ready to go. And now we see a lane swap coming out for the side of Army Esports. Since they took their first turret down in bot lane, they decide to rotate their bot lane up to that top to be able to try to keep that pressure going.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that I did see that they had taken that tower, and I totally forgot about it. So now we're back.
It was a while ago, and they had a pause. All kinds of things were happening.
Plus Ash, and they were standing over where the tower should be in the pause screen, so I couldn't see it.
Yeah, so now Army Esports with this 2v1 in the top lane will start to be able to exert pressure. You know, the Gnar can be hard to deal with for just one, so having that 2 up there means that they should be able to clear waves safely, and NCQ2 is going to have to make sure that he plays safe as he has no backup anywhere nearby.
Yeah, so they're going to try to just get in and get as much damage on this tower as they can in this 2v1.
Yeah, Sivir Sivir has the Essence Reaver already finished, and now we see the Rift Herald being dropped in the mid lane. That should be a dead turret, and Army Esports doing a good job with the neutral objective control.
Yeah, and this is what we've seen from them throughout the weekend, is now that they're starting to move around and take those neutral objectives, this is where they've shown all weekend, is just moving around the map, taking objective after objective. So T-Sin is going to have to respond and force them to do what T-Sin wants them to do in these team fights.
Yeah, Army Esports, learning from the first game that they played, they draft kind of a, individual reliant composition the first time around. This time they've drafted and they are playing to their style, which is a split push, pull you apart, force you to fight their game. So Army Esports right now still in the driver's seat and have expanded that gold lead with that neutral objective take by almost 5.5k.
Yeah, so these neutral objectives are going to start adding up to their gold lead and allowing them to get those items and hit those power spikes a little bit faster. Like I said, Sivir's almost to her second item, so that'll be a big power spike for her. And holding a big CS lead over Ash right now at this point too.
Yeah, so it looks like, the Sivir has decided to go with the Phantom Dancer. Will help for when that Wombo combo comes out. Will have the opportunity to go ahead and dodge out on some of that damage. The Phantom Dancer gives you that shield. So, pretty smart pickup, but does decrease the wave clear potential of the Sivir.
Yeah, do you think that with all the CC that both of these teams have, that we'll see anybody go ahead and go the QSS route to try to stay out of too much danger?
So I think the QSS is one of the best counters to the Ashe, because they're going to be looking to make these picks, and that they're already behind. But we see D-Tub right now using the Soul Shackles as well as the Dark Binding to try to get on top of the Lulu. But here's Wyrito, and he is getting the damage, he is getting the kills as he is able to go ahead and take down D-Tub, who set up that brush trap. But yeah, so back to the QSS question, I think it's a great pickup. One thing you can do as well is just have your you can have your support build the Mikhails, and so then your ADC doesn't have to spend the QSS money nearly as early. The support can go for the Mikhails, and then you essentially have that QSS for anybody.
Yeah. So with all the CC, I'm kind of surprised we didn't see one in that very first game of the weekend when T-Sin had that Tarek Sejuani combo team.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a misplay, and so maybe they haven't learned from all their mistakes, but they will pick up another dragon here as they're getting their first Infernal of the game. They've got 3 Drakes through their name, so they're feeling pretty good, and we see another brush gank happening, but Talented has 2 in his back pocket. Capsa on the hunt to make the distance. Now D-Tub starting to go low. Still has no summoners from the last fight, and he will get out unscathed.
And now they're looking to turn onto MCQ2.
Yeah, he is going to be a little bit slippery. Oh, the charm just barely wide from Wyrito. That might have been a kill coming up. All the while, they're drawing all this pressure, and it's just giving time for Porkchop to continue the split push up in the top lane. He's got essentially a 60 CS advantage and is up about 1.2k gold on the Gnar.
Yeah, US Army Esports has done a great job of holding those 4v1s and allowing Porkchop to split push, or those 4v4, sorry.
Yeah, so it's still doing what they need to do, which is playing to their game plan of pulling apart in Twisted Sin. And so Talented still down here, getting the damage down. Now looks like Steamy Bath wants to step up. The Crystal Arrow was fired, but it was 8 by the Spell Shield. Here comes the Jarvan. There goes the ultimate from the side of the Lulu. TPs are coming in from both sides. That's going to be Port Shop showing up. They're able to get the turret in mid lane. And that means that Army Esports is going to decide to go ahead and pull off this play as they get the advantage and the pressure that they want.
Yeah, so both TPs were burned to come down into that fight. Army Esports decided to disengage. They have the objective control at this point. There was no reason for them to take a risky fight. But now they're looking to chase down Porkchop, but he will get away unscathed and back out to his lane.
Yeah, he's got that jump in the queue, so he's able to stay pretty safe. But you know, Baron is on the board at this point in time. We're about to reach the 22-minute mark, so I look for both of our teams to start playing around that objective. And Army Esports has the pressure around the map because they still have all turrets standing, whereas the side of Twisted Sin have lost 4.
Yeah, and like we said, this plays right into the win condition of what Army Esports wants to do. With them having the turret advantage, that means that Twisted Sin is not able to force them into a defense situation where they have to group and fall to the team fight advantage that T-Sin could have.
Yeah, one of the things that's hurting Army Esports here is that the TP4 Jax is down. We saw that happen in the last skirmish in the jungle. So that means that he can only sit on top side because if a play starts to pop off, he needs to be near that Baron to make something happen.
Yeah, so they'll have to buy him some time until his TP comes back up.
Going to be a couple minutes on that before we're able to see that kind of TP play coming out. But now they actually decide to rotate on bot. Maybe they think they can just keep them pulled apart. And we talked about at the beginning of this that Twisted Sin had that 5-man comp and they needed to force Army to fight them as a 5v5. But right now, with the pressure that they have on the map, they just can't do anything like that because Army Esports is just pulling them apart.
Yeah, they're going to keep this spread out as long as possible. And the way that they've been rotating, they're not going to get caught into a big 5v5 team fight, I don't think, until we start getting into the inhibitors.
Yeah, and once again, they're looking to set up a death brush. This is actually a 5-man stack up on the spot side. Porkchop has to be careful. He might pay with his life, but he's able to get out and make the distance. Well done by him. So all that pressure is for naught as Porkchop lives.
Yeah. Porkchop is being very, very slippery with this Jax. And now he's kind of just baiting them while they take Baron up top.
Yeah, with the jungle showing the bot lane, Army Esports is doing what they need to do. And Baron is on the board with the kill of his own, taking down It's Me That's OP. But they will be able to take him down. The retribution kill is there, and Army Esports has Baron on 4.
Yeah, unfortunate that It's Me That's OP wasn't able to get out and avoid that last attack by Baron. So they only have the Baron buff on 4, but that should still allow them to keep pushing these objectives.
Yeah, now Army Esports looks to reset and move back out onto the map. The Drake is going to be respawning in just a few seconds, and it will be another Mountain Drake. So they will look to put that one in their pocket, and then they will look to pressure those turrets as they start to try to use this Baron power play to extend their 10k gold lead.
Yeah. So they should know that they're there with the vision brushes going off. But they can't even contest at this point.
No, too hard to contest, and this is the time that I think Twisted Sin needs to just go ahead and start the turtle, as they need to force Army to walk to them so that they can finally get one of these team fights off.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get Ashe some farm or something so that she can start to hopefully do some damage in these team fights, because right now Ashe isn't going to be able to do much.
Yeah, Ashe isn't going to be able to have the damage. Still only has 1 item. So Army Esports going with the 1-3-1. 1 up in the top lane, 3 in the mid lane, 1 in the bot lane. Rito already getting 1 turret. MCQ2 trying to keep Porkchop off of the turret for as long as possible. About to lose the Mega Form. So we'll see if Reed or if Porkchop wants to go in. Right now, the answer is no, but Army Esports pressuring in all 3 lanes, forcing the fights to come to them.
Yeah, and Rito was all by himself in the bot lane, able to put a lot of damage on the tower. And as soon as they rotate down, oh, nice.
Oh, a misplay
Shockwave
from the side of Rito means that the Shockwave is able to take them down. Going to lose pressure in the bot lane now. Army Esports, though, has exposed the inhibitor in the mid. Porkchop has made his way back out as he went low. But with Ari being down, it's going to be much harder to keep this split pressure going.
Yes, they're going to have to back off for now, but with Talented sitting at a 70 CS lead and Porkchop sitting at an 80 CS lead, they're going to just be so far ahead. They're going to have to reset here, but they're just going to come right back and start pushing these lanes right back in and do the same thing over again.
Yeah, TP almost available for the side of Porkchop. Army Esports is taking away the jungle as well. When you're ahead like this, you want to take everything away from your enemy team, and they do that by just starving Hato out of the jungle, who has been such a big star for the Twisted Sin team.
Yeah, one of the ways back for Twisted Sin at this point is, I mean, Oriana, Manatee Waffles is still looking pretty decent in his lane. He does have the CS lead there. If they can figure out a way to get a team fight where he can just get everybody at once with a massive shockwave, that might be their only way back into a team fight.
Yeah, he does have Luden's Echo as well as the Death Trap already created. So sitting on a high amount of AP means that he can really do some damage in these fights, as there is no MR built except for Mertreads in the top lane for this side of Porkchop. Porkchop with a 3-level lead is just going to chase this dude down. My God.
Yeah, he did a great job in the early game of building that CS lead, getting the damage down when he did, and kiting back out so that he didn't take extended trades with Gnar until he had the power advantage. So now he's just going to be a bully in that lane all over and over again, and Gnar can't really stand up to him at this point.
Yeah, going to be having a rough time. It's going to take at least 2 to answer this Jax. It might take 3. He goes back in on the MCQ under the tower. That might have been a problem, but he will still walk away with half of his health. And now Army Esports right back at it with this 1-3-1 style. They're dodging out on the CC, and now Twisted Sin is thinking about pulling the trigger here, but they start to regret that decision as Jax has made his way over. They will now just have to wait for their opportunity to get in, as they are just watching their base be dismantled in front of them.
Yeah, so once again, US Army Esports was running that 1-3-1. Now Rito's coming up to the middle to push this fight.
Yeah, and here comes the Crystal Arrow. It's going to end up landing onto the side of Valencia, but they've caught out the Ashe. There goes the heal. One more shot's going to do it. That's going to be It's Me. That's OP taking down Steamy and Bath. Now we're into a 4v5 scenario. Porkchop, though, is making his TP in the base. A 3-man shockwave comes from Manatee Waffles, but it takes down no one. That's going to be an important cooldown now in the trenches for the side of Twisted Sin, and this could be the game-winning push, as they have the numbers advantage, they have the pressure advantage, but they decide to go ahead and pull off the play for now.
Yeah, I don't think they felt confident in getting that team fight and pushing all the way in. They know that they have the advantage if they just take their time and push the lanes. There's no reason getting caught into a fight that has even the slightest potential for them to lose when they're pushing the lanes so well.
They also have Baron coming up shortly. It should be up in about 20 seconds for the side of Army Esports, so they will probably look to get that and then try to finish this game out. There will be another Drake that will come up as well, and it will be a 3rd Mountain Drake. So they could just go Mountain Drake into Baron, but it looks like their sights are set on Baron for now.
Yeah, and I don't see any way for T-Sin to get in here and contest that with Jax hanging out down here. We got...
Yeah, every time that they step up, they're stepping up into just a fog of war that they cannot see through, as Army Esports have starved them out of health. And you don't have too many people that can face check, and now the Baron is just being burnt down. It's going so low, it's going to go down. No smite needed. Army Esports lets a reset and then go ahead and start to push this pressure as pings are going down in the top lane.
Yeah, this Baron buff should be the final push for them. They have 1 turret left, 1 inhibitor left, and then the Nexus. So Those Nexus turrets will fall extremely fast once these minions start pushing in with the Baron buff coming from all sides.
Yeah, and so now they're just going to make quick work of this turret. They've got this double mountain trade. It's going to be able to get that damage. The inhibitor is exposed. Super minions are pouring into the base in the bot lane and starting in the mid lane. It's going to have to be do or die. They start to go in. There's a shockwave. They're able to get it on one, but they're not going to be able to get the damage. Talented able to take down Hato. There goes Manatee Waffles. D-Tub isn't long for this world. MCQ2 is going to fall as well. The Ashe goes down. There's the ace. There's the game. Army Esports takes the first one of your final series.
Wow, and that was a very decisive fight that they jumped in. They got the kills. They knew they had the advantage. The only team fight of the game that happened was the one at the end, and Army Esports finished that off.
Yeah, well played by Army Esports to make sure that they were playing to their win conditions. They didn't push out when they didn't need to. They were playing it just so right, making Twisted Sin conform to what they wanted to do. So well done by Army Esports there.
Yeah, Army Esports continue to do what they've been doing all weekend. Ever since that first game, they have looked like a very, very cohesive team, which they are. They've moved around the map very well. They've taken objective after objective. They've just played their last couple games down to a T, done everything that they wanted to do.
Now, guys, remember the finals and this tournament are all brought to you by aboostabove.com as well as vertigear.com. If you're looking for, to improve your mental health as well as your mental agility, make sure you go over and check out aboostabove.com. That's something that we always have to take care of yourself. If you're taking care of yourself physically, make sure you do it mentally as well. And if you want to really take care of yourself physically, you're going to get yourself a VertiChair. Go over to vertigear.com. They'll be able to hook you up with a chair. You're going to be able to get those military discounts that they offer, so make sure you hit that one up as well. And then of course you got to support the Patreon. You go to patreon.com/military gaming lead. You'll be able to support the military gaming lead directly and join one of the elite crews that the military gaming lead has. Get some exclusive perks, some exclusive merch, and make sure that you help keep these kind of tournaments and things like that going on. So, guys, that is going to do it for Game 1. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we're going to get into Game 2 of our Summer Brawl series of esports. Looks to close out this series in a quick 2-0 if they can, but Twisted Sin will have something to say about it. Stick around. We'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll see you then. All right, guys, we are back and we are already into game 2 as Twisted Sin Esports looks to try to keep the dream alive against Army Esports, who is up 1-0 in our best of 3 series. So everything is on the line for both of these teams. Army Esports, if they come up with the victory, will be the winners of the tournament. And if Twisted Sin is able to find the W, they will extend into the final game of game 3. So we're into hits and bans, and we're seeing the bans coming out hot and heavy. We're seeing the Tarek, the Karthus, and the Sivir coming out. So Gamer Tribute, where do you think our teams need to change to make sure that they're going to, get the victory this time around?
Well, I think what Twisted Sin needs to do is they need to look at their draft and make sure that they draft a team that does what they want to do. They drafted a team last game that was designed to team fight, and they weren't able to draw Army Esports into any team fights.
Yeah, Army Esports was not baited into that play. They made the conscious decision to move back from those team fights. They didn't over aggress as often as we saw them do in the first game of the game. So with that, we're going to get into our first pick phase, and it's going to be Porkchop is going to have the first pick. We're going to see what they decide to do here. Maybe they stick with the same kind of composition of that split push style, pull them apart, and they are going to prioritize the Ahri this game.
Yeah, so they made sure they got the Ahri first, and their bans were the same as last game, where they put some focus on Manatee Waffles and made sure that they didn't have the Sejuani out there for Hato either.
Yeah, so going to take that Sejuani away from Hato. He was such a problem in that first game. The Jarvan looked good for him, but now we see the Rumble game picked up for MCQ2. This has been banned against him multiple times, so he's going to finally get to play that champ.
Yeah, MCQ2 is definitely a Rumble main. It's definitely one of his more comfortable picks, something that he likes. So he hasn't been able to play it in any of the other games because it was banned away, but it's good to see him this time. And now an Ivern jungle coming out for the side of Twisted Sin.
An interesting pickup. It's something that is a asymmetrical jungler, has very interesting gank pass, can be abused early if they can find it. But now we see we're going to be seeing the Mordekaiser being picked up for the side of Army, and with that recent rework since 9.12 that got released about a little over a week ago, going to be a bit of a different look for them. So we'll see if that Mordekaiser can take anybody to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, Mordekaiser is having a super high win rate and solo queue right now. Just getting used to his new kit. He is just really OP in the top lane. He's really builds a lot. It does a lot of interesting interactions with the Shadow Realm. You can take the jungler out of a fight around the Baron Pit. You can do whatever it is, as long as he can isolate. He can pick out the carries. There's just a lot of interactions that can be done with that Shadow Realm.
Now we see the Tom Kench being picked up, more than likely going to be in that support role unless they want to put the Rumble in the mid. So we'll have some safety for the bot lane of Twisted Sin. So with that, we're going to get into the next round of bans, and they're going to take the Draven away from the side of Army Esports. They don't want to give that comfort to Talented.
Yeah, I have a feeling that both these bans are going to be focused at Talented. He has played really well in this tournament with all of his ADCs, mostly played on the Sivir last game, so they took that away and don't want to give him any other comfort picks.
Yeah, taking that comfort pick away, going to make sure he's going to have to be on something a little bit different. They banned the Soraka, which is fairly interesting. Maybe they think the Tom Kench is still going to go not in the support role. So they take that one away from D-Tub again, but they're going to see the Lulu ban coming out as well. They don't want to have to deal with that buff up champion.
Yeah, they don't want to have to deal with Lulu getting those empowered champions out there. So taking her out and really restricting what can be done down here in bot lane for U.S. Army Esports.
Yes, U.S. Army Esports is going to pretty much show their. They just set their bot lane, the pitch. They know that they're more than likely playing into a Tom Kench. We might see the ADC pick up here as well, but I expect them with this. This team comp is a interesting team comp to pick up. So they might want to look for something that dominates in lane, but we will see the Vayne getting picked up for Steaming Bath. So we might see, it's actually a Kai'Sa ban from Army Esports, so we won't see the Kai'Sa counter.
Yeah, so I think that's the reason Twisted Sin went ahead and picked up the Vayne, is because they knew the Kai'Sa was already banned.
Now, the Caitlyn is on the table. That is a good early game counter, but we might see a Xayah Rakan coming out for Army Esports. So we haven't seen this duo in this tournament the whole time. It has a lot of relevance in pro play. Xayah is pretty good by herself. Rakan is meh when he's not paired with Xayah, but when they're together, they are a hard duo to deal with.
Absolutely. I do hope we get to see the Xayah Rakan. And now he's teasing us and locks it in, so we will see the Xayah Rakan bot lane.
So Xayah Rakan bot, a very strong bot lane, has pressure all the way through the game. Xayah scales very, very well. Will be able to go toe-to-toe with the Vayne in a 1v1 scenario. Vayne does have the damage advantage if she plays it right. But let's see if, that Rakan is going to be able to jump on anybody, and they can try to punish this Tom Kench. As we see, a Gnar is going to round out the draft, so that should be a mid lane Rumble, and then a top lane Gnar with the Tom Kench being in the bot lane. A bit of an interesting draft for the side of Twisted Sin here.
So I really like the mid lane Rumble. He has had some nerfs throughout the season, but at the beginning of the season, that was the first mid laner I played this season. I really liked what he was able to do with the e-poke, and can really control the lane. And then once you start getting those down to if they can lock down some people in some team fights, and he can drop the ultimate down, Rumble does a lot of damage late game.
Yeah, thinking about the matchup into the Ahri, you can start to see where the Rumble is going to do well into that champion. Ahri wants to land an ability and dash into you. That Flame Spitter is going to be great for dealing with that dash in, as well as if he gets the empowered electrified harpoons, we'll be able to apply that slow. That plus the equalizer will just be gross. So I think maybe that might be a little Seeker counter that we don't know about, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting matchup. Manatee Waffles has performed really well on everything he's played this weekend, so they must know that he feels comfortable with this. I'm also interested to talk about this Ivern versus Olaf matchup in the jungle. What do you suspect the path is going to be for this Ivern to start off this game?
So it can kind of go back and forth, right? Because the Ivern can invade early, but so can the Olaf. Olaf likes to go, he usually goes low in his jungle, so if you can find him, you can abuse that. But the Olaf is going to have a harder time invading. I think Hato, if he plays this one right, and he seems like a smart jungler, I think he can get a pretty sizable advantage over the Olaf and have a larger impact in the game. The issue, though, becomes is once you start the team fight or anything like that, making sure that you're using the Ivern correctly, because the you have that shield. It's got a fairly decent cooldown. Make sure that you're using the Daisy, the ultimate while getting those stacks off. So it's going to be interesting to watch. But I think the Ivern, they're both weak, but I think Ivern will end up being stronger and might be able to steal some camps away.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested to see the interaction and especially the use of the summon Daisy in the team fights, and how they are able to do that. Hato seems very competent at what he's doing in the jungle. So if he gets those shields on the right play or the right people in the team fights, could be very interesting to counter that Olaf.
Yeah, I expect to see an Ardent Sensor build coming from the Ivern. This kind of looks like a Protect the Vayne composition a little bit, with having that Tom Kench having the ability to eat the Vayne and peel, as well as having that Ivern to help buff that up. You have Daisy to give that AoE knock up if she's able to get that one down. But no, looking at these teams, looking at Twisted Sin, what do you think their game plan is coming into this? What do they want this team composition to do?
They're looking to brawl again. With the Gnar, with Tom Kench getting the stacks in there, and Rumble doing a lot of damage. I think they're looking. This team can spread out a little bit more than the last team that they drafted, so they might be able to match up with U.S. Army Esports' rotations a little bit better this time. Rumble will have good wave clear late in the game, as will Gnar if they get up to that point. So they might be able to counter that rotating style of U.S. Army Esports a little bit better in this game.
And then I'm curious with the Mordekaiser pickup. I like it. I love seeing the new champs coming out. I think it's great. But it's one of those, like, who do you ultimate, right? You can take away the Tom Kench to get rid of the peel. If you ult the Vayne, you just put yourself in a 1v1 with a champion that is one of the best 1v1 champions in the game. You know, Mordekaiser does good damage, but he can get kited as long as you dodge that claw and dodge that E. So I think, you know, you would normally think, oh, ult the carry, murder the carry, come back out. But that Mordekaiser might lock himself into a death pit if he takes that Vayne with him.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting who he chooses to go with. And again, we'll see. We talked about this a little bit last game on if any teams were going to purchase the QSS. They should know that the QSS will cleanse the Mordekaiser ult. So hopefully we will see some of those on this game.
Yeah, might be forcing them to pay that QSS tax. You know, you got to pay that 1,300 gold if you want to play. Because if not, you're just going to get taken to another realm and you don't get to play League of Legends anymore. You got to play Mordekaiser games.
Yep.
So with that, our teams are already loaded onto the Rift, and they're going to be stepping out for our Game 2 of the MGL Summer Brawl League of Legends Finals. And we got Twisted Sin over on your red side, U.S. Army Esports on your blue side, and Army Esports looking to make an early invade, and they will be spotted out by the Gnar here.
Yeah, but they got an advantage to put a lot of damage down on MCQ2 early.
Yeah, they might force it back. Another axe is going to land. That means Valencia's mana is going to go low. He should have to back to his own blue. Hado looking to get some vision, but he might figure that they've got someone in standing guard here.
Yeah, but that did spot out the invade, so now that Valencia does have to go back, they're not going to be able to invade that red. So they did get what they needed out of that. And Gnar will just be a little bit behind the minions getting the lane.
Yeah, we'll be a little bit behind. Might be set back in experience just a tiny bit, but we'll probably be feeling okay about it. They are going to. Yeah, I was like, the bot lane the bot lane stuck around the blue, and I was like, guys, you don't actually have to, leash for him. He'll be okay. He is going to take the blue and instantly smite, and then he's going to walk over and try to get some roots down over on his opponent's side. So an interesting path for the side of Hado. He's actually coming for an early gank. The Vine Crawler is not going to find its mark, and that means that early gank is not going to pay off. So unfortunate for him there.
Yeah, so kind of a little bit of a waste of time on the pathing there to go down and didn't get anything out of that gank. Trying to make sure that Olaf doesn't come up and steal his red, which we do see Valencia starting to roll up that way. So
yeah, there is no smite on Hado, but there is one on Valencia. He is going to actually, his is down as well. He walks in, he sees that it's been marked, but he knows that he's going to get pinched.
And they're collapsing.
And yeah, the pings are coming down. Valencia in a bad spot. He's going to land one axe and try to walk his way out. Pork Chop is here, but it might be a little bit too late. They actually end up pulling him in. That's going to be a flash from Valencia, a follow from MCQ2, and a first blood going to Twisted Sin Esports. There goes the stun. There goes Pork Chop over the wall. No flashes to follow, but first blood goes over the Twisted Sin.
Yeah, and that was a great collapse once they spotted Valencia out in the top jungle. Both MCQ2 and Manatee Waffles collapsing in on there.
Yeah, well done by them to make that call to go ahead and send the full squad over so that they were able to collapse on Valencia for trying to punish that Ivern. And now Ivern's going to be looking to do the same again. Looking to make this play in mid lane. Charm lands, no Vine Crawler to go ahead and follow, but well done by the side of the Ahri to make sure they get out of that play.
Yeah, she did a good job Rito did a great job staying back, using the range advantage and poking out at the Ivern to keep him from coming in and having any effect on that gank. Now he's going back to clear the roots that he set down earlier in the top jungle.
Yeah, we're seeing a good amount of trading. The Flame Spitter is getting some damage down, and kind of like we had talked about at the beginning of this, you know, the Ahri might be a little bit countered here with that Rumble. Every time she tries to go in and get that damage and just turn that Flame Spitter on and try to turn that damage right back. It's me that's OP, ends up going low. He gets devoured by details, gets spit out. Is going to be able to jump to his opponent. There's the Grayscale coming out. Another jump in. Steaming Bath, it gets the Ignite drop down. Valencia's here. He is on a control ward, so unspotted at this point in time, but a trade of summoners back and forth as D-Tub has to burn the exhaust, Vayne has to burn the flash, and both some burn for it. It's me that's OP.
Yeah, and it looks like Valencia is going to try to circle around to the backside of this turret and see if they can push this wave in and maybe get this gank.
Yeah, the Ivern missing another root crawler. Just so far, Hato not finding those line skill shots. They are difficult to land, having a bit of an issue with it. So Port gets to stay safe up in the top lane. He's doing pretty well, but he's starting to go a little low. But a good combo by him with that EQ gets a decent amount of damage on the MCQ too.
Say that 10 times fast.
I know. I just realized as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, oh no, this is going to be very hard to say. Valencia getting pincered once again, a 4-man stack means he is caught out. He is fish food as Manatee Waffles is able to take that one down. The Rumble is on the board, and it's a Rumble in the jungle as he has found both of his kills and his assist on this Valencia.
Yeah, so this is a great start for Twisted Sin. Getting up to a 2-0 lead. They got a 800 or 900 or 700k gold lead, and just moving around the map well, doing what they want to do so far in this game.
Yeah, MCQ2 having a pretty good time in the top lane. Here comes Hato though. He's got the root caller. He's going to actually use it. It's me that's OP. Eats it by using that W from Rakan. A well-played move by him. D-Tub going low. Might have to burn the Grayscale, but won't do it for now. But just so much trading back and forth. This game feels like it's so close. Both of these teams know what's on the line. You know, they're playing for that top prize, paying for that $250. Army Esports wants to get this win, and Twisted Sin is going to do everything they can to stop that from happening.
Yeah, one of the things that that Twisted Sin wants to see is they want to see Army maybe play a little bit more cautious this game. They know they have the 1-0 lead. They might be a little adverse to taking some unnecessary risks, so look for Twisted Sin to punish that if they can.
And now we see just some backs coming from the bot lane. We see a heavy farm advantage for the Xayah over the Vayne. Xayah just punishing this Vayne early. Vayne needs to get some items to get online.
Yeah, she's definitely able to poke out with that. Establishing almost double the CS, getting close there. So, and plus Tom Kent stole 8, Rakan has 0, so that might have helped out Vayne a little bit.
Yeah, it does help out quite a bit. Actually, it gets put into your CS, if you didn't know that. Whenever the Tom Kent uses the Relic Shield proc, it's still added to yours. So it's a true 28. I've been baited by that before. I was like, man, my farm looks horrible. Oh, it's because my support is that one that's doing it. And then I found out that the Relic Shield adds to yours as well. And then I felt really bad about myself because my farm was horrible. But now we're seeing some trading back. Yeah, pretty good engage. Not able to find anything. Just so far, none of the games are really paying off. The only thing that's been going on in this map has been that Valencia has been uncharacteristically caught out trying to punish the Ivern early. He actually plays a decent amount of Ivern, so he feels like maybe he knows the gank pass, knows how he wants to operate, but so far has just gifted over 2 kills. Now a good trade on the D-Tub, has to pop the Grayscale, is going to end up using it. It's me that's OP, has to get out now because here comes the teleport from MCQ2. Does not have access to the ultimate, but here is the Rumble. Drops the equalizer. No kills to follow. It's going to be close, though. Ahri is starting to come over the wall, but that's going to be end of that play.
So Twisted Sin brings 4 down to the bot lane. Not able to get anything out of it. We got a teleport from MCQ2 and an ultimate out of Manatee Waffles. So a lot burned for not a lot gained down there in the bot lane.
Yeah, so, a decent getaway from the side of the Army Esports bot lane. Now we see Valencia up in the top lane. We do have ultimates available for the side of the mid laners and the top laners, and now just starting to come on for the bot lane. MCQ2 is here. This is a 2v2. Gonna go ahead and pop that shield onto his top laner. It means that it takes no damage for this trade. And now Army Esports might need the run. And now we see another fight in the bot lane. It's me that's OP uses ultimate. He wants to go in. There's a wall up into the wall. They're actually in the Shadow Realm. That's why they look like they do. And Porkchop able to take him down. Gets that kill. Hato goes solo. Valencia is able to take him down as well. Manatee Waffles is here to answer this play. Here comes Wybrito on the Ari, but not going to be able to follow it.
Yeah, there was action all over the map there. Steaming Bath and D-Tub were able to disengage from their fight, and now they've got Rakan stuck on the wrong side.
Yeah, he gets a knockup, gets a kill, a solo kill for the Rakan. You don't see that very often. Able to take him down. Well played by the side of It's Me That's OP.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get caught out there, but a great job on being able to get rid of D-Tub before they could get the Devour stacks built up, and he was able to get eaten and have Vayne get those extra procs off.
Yeah, so right now, a great equalizer placement by the side of Manatee Waffles means that Porkchop is in some trouble, and he has gone down. Well done by the side of Manatee to stick around and make that play happen.
Yeah, Manatee Waffles is just being in the right place at the right time all over the map so far this game. Definitely wants to have a rebound from last game where he did well, but the team kind of struggled and he wasn't able to really get off with that Orianna as much as he wanted to. So good to see him getting some good kills and getting ahead in this game.
Yeah, and so we're seeing, Valencia able to take that dragon down, going to be gifted over the Army Esports. Got that Cloud Drake, going to be able to rotate. One thing to note with the new Mordekaiser, we'll try to call out the best that we can with him ulting somebody. It's kind of hard to see sometimes. So we'll do our best. If you haven't seen the new Mordekaiser rework, what he does is his ultimate is that he brings someone to the death realm along with him, and it becomes the 1v1 of history. But before we talk about that, Manatee Waffles getting jumped on. There's a flash charm over the wall, but here comes Hato. D-Tub is following right behind. Valencia has to run for his life. If he gets any CC, it might be the end of him. And now Porkchop is starting to turn it on over the MCQ2, but the change is going to come over. They're in the Shadow Realm now. They're in the ultimate. There's the wall up. Not going to be able to find any stun that will disengage the fight at this point in time.
Yeah, so again, a good job by MCQ2 of keeping his distance and hiding out once he got pulled into the Shadow Realm.
Good stun by Talented, able to get that kill. He will pay with his life more than likely, as D-Tub is just going to lick him to death, tell him he's a good guy, and then just take him down. But D-Tub just absolutely not able to save his laner there, save the Devour for too long.
Yeah, great job by D-Tub going ahead and getting that return kill after Talented was able to take out Steaming Bath.
Good trade of kills, and again, Talented. A lot of the times when we see in the early game, it might be a 40 to 20 farm lead, but it usually stays at that 20, right? So you get that 80 to 60, 100 to 80, those kinds of things. But Talented is keeping the pace on this guy, and he still has almost twice the CS at this Vayne at this point.
Yeah, and that's really going to start to pay off here. Talented is almost to his first complete item. He's got pretty much one more back, and he'll have his first complete item, which will give him a big advantage over the Vayne.
Yeah, he actually decided to go for a little bit slower of a build, has built his Zeal first instead of just going straight to Essence Reaver, but that does mean he will have increased crit strike chance once that item is complete. So be looking for him to do lots of damage coming up here shortly. Porkchop is starting to go low, but he's going to go ahead and use that ultimate. So he is in the Shadow Realm in a 1v1. He's able to take down Hato. You think you come for a gank, but he just pulls you into the arena, and he is able to get that kill. That's why we see how strong Mordekaiser can be, because you start to turn on him, but he turns on you.
Yeah, that ability to just turn any 2v1 into a 1v1 where he has the advantage. And Manatee sniping in the mid lane with an awesome equalizer under turret.
Rito painting his own barrier because he didn't use it and he died. That was my favorite part of that play. But now, going in is a Vayne, and there's the charm. There's the ultimate coming out. Steaming Bath has to run. That's going to be one more hit to do it. The Ignite's going to tick down. It's me. That's OP is given the kill, and very well played to save his top laner or his bot laner as it looked bad for him. It's me that's OP gets a knockup. They maybe want to turn this around, but Hato going to be too strong. No gray health is going to be popped. So D-Tub is taken down, and now Talented has 2 kills to his name.
And Manatee's coming in behind.
So just so you know, anytime in the spectator client, whenever Mordekaiser and the enemy go gray, that is him using the ultimate. Now Manatee Waffle's taken down and is going to die for his troubles. Rito is going to use that charm to get the damage, and that's a double kill coming up for the Gnar.
So yeah, double kill going over to Porkchop. Was able to again get 1 in the Shadow Realm and then 1 in the cleanup after the fight. He is going to get really big, really fast. Already has the Scepter completed and is sitting at 4-1. They are not going to get away from him.
Yeah, so sitting at a pretty good point at this point in time. You know, the Bilgewater Cutlass is finished for the side of the Vayne, but not going to be nearly as strong as the Essence Reaver and Zeal for the side of Talented. So he's going to be feeling pretty good. A heavy bot lane advantage is coming through for the side of Army Esports.
Yeah, their bot lane is looking really good. Hopefully that'll help compensate. MCQ2 is starting to fall a little bit behind this Mordekaiser now that he's sitting at 4-1. And haven't heard too much from Valencia or Hato in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, both of the jungles have been pretty quiet. They've been having issues making these games happen. Neither of them have a very impressive scoreline, but Valencia is up in the farm. And if we are able to take a look at the gold advantage, I can see that you know, he's got about an 800 gold advantage over the Ivern right now.
So they're going to start up this dragon and see if it's just a bait into a fight or if they're going to actually try to take it down.
Oh, good equalizer comes out from the side of Manatee Waffles. That puts down so much damage and makes a zone that they can't fight. And now here comes the redemption. Talented is able to take down the him though. And now we see the rest of this fight continue to go. Gnar's about to go mega. That's a double kill going over to the Vayne. The Mordekaiser is in trouble. He gets slapped around. He's going to be taking down the enemies. But here comes Valencia with the XQ, able to get that damage going down. There's going to be D-Tup falling. There's going to be MCQ going so low. A double kill goes over to the side of Valencia, and Army Esports have turned the fight around.
Yeah, and they secured that ace with a great team fight. Valencia was able to come in, start cleaning up kills, and that should lead to an easy Drake for them. And Porkchop will come down and try to push this under turret and maybe get this bottom turret as well.
Yeah, so well done by the side of Army Esports, taking that fight when it looked like they were going to be behind. They lost their bot laner who was so far ahead. Vayne was picking up some kills, but Army Esports is able to turn around, and it's all on the back of that Porkchop.
Yeah, Porkchop is definitely using the new Mordekaiser to its fullest extent.
Yeah, but now he's going to be the beneficiary of a 2-man gank. I don't think he's going to get out of this one. He's trying to get the damage down. Can't find it. That's a shutdown going over to the Vayne. Overstayed his welcome there.
Yeah, forgot about the Abyssal Voyage, bringing both of the the bot laners back at the same time, and got stuck trying to get that tower.
Yeah, Army Esports they've rotated their bot lane to the top here just like they did last game. This time their turret is still available in the bot lane, but they just want to go ahead and get that change over, trying to get the first turret, or it's still the second turret of the game, but trying to get that macro play going.
Yeah, so now we see T-Sin's got the push on this, getting a lot of damage down to this bot tower. And Mord coming back down bot.
Yeah, now Mordekaiser looking to maybe be in a 2v1 situation. Does not yet have access to the ultimate, but is now available. So he is in a 3v1. He can make this a 1v1 though if he wants, but Army Esports is actually collapsing. They've painted that there is some vision. Why Rito's coming, he's going to miss the charm. D-Tub is going to be trying to get away. The Glacial Augment will slow, and it looks like they will be able to retreat for now. The turret, though, is only 2 hits away from being taken down.
Yeah, they're going to try to keep pressure in this in so they can get this turret. Daisy might buy them some time, allow them to recover, to clear the lane.
Yeah, Talented looking to get the last 2 shots in on it that he can. He's able to take it down. Now we see that a team fight might start to happen, but Army Esports is not going to be having none of it. They know that Nar went missing, so they decide to pull off the play.
Yeah, again, Army Esports is doing what they've been wanting to do this entire tournament. They got the objective, and now they're going to back off, it looks like, or they might chase this down now that they see where they got the Nar at.
Yeah, they've found out 3 of them. It's me that's OP is starting to move in. He's going to get a knockup onto the Nar. Nar uses the wall up. It's a very good wall up, and they're fighting in a corridor over the equalizer. Manatee Waffles is doing so much damage to the Army team. Valencia having to run for his life. Here comes the Abyssal Voyage from the Tom Kinch, bringing in the ADC. A flash in from Steaming Bath is going to pick him up 1, and that's going to send Army running, trying to get more. There goes the barrier. There's the charm, but it's not enough, and that's going to be a double kill going over to the Bane. Twisted Sin have found their way back in.
Yep, and that leaves just the Mordekaiser alive. A great turn by Twisted Sin on that one, and there we see Hato doing a little dance to enjoy their temporary victory.
Yeah, Twisted Sin forgot about the, or Army Esports forgot about the rule of never fight in a corridor whenever you're playing a Rumble. They did exactly that, and they paid the price as they were the beneficiary of 2 ultimates that just absolutely destroyed them. One coming from MCQ2, who had a beautiful wall up into the wall, and then the equalizer coming out from the Rumble as well.
Yeah, and that's the 2nd game in a row where we've seen MCQ2 just hit a giant Nar stun into the wall in a team fight that really changed the complexion of the entire team fight.
And so now we just see some resets, but we actually see Hato getting caught up here. It's me that's OP. Once again, once that 1v1, not able to find it. He might get another Q, but it's not going to matter. The rest of the team is here, though. Now MCQ2 came over the helpless laner, but he is deleted off the map. I swear he was there a second ago, but he is just absolutely eviscerated.
Yeah, he walked down that way, and they said, no, you don't get to play League of Legends anymore, and we'll send you back to hang out in its fountain for a while.
Yeah, so now they go over. They're going to go ahead and turn on the Baron here. Hato is up, could look to try to get a smite challenge, but not in position to do so. The Baron is burning down. It's at 4k health right now. Wairito is playing the defense as he is just sitting, waiting for anybody to come in. Going to get that charm, going to land on the Manatee Waffles. There goes the play in from the side of It's Me That's OP. That's going to be the pullback. That's going to be Manatee Waffles disappearing. There is the ultimate coming out of the Rakan, and there goes Hato. This could be a big fight for Army Esports. If they can clean this up, they're going to get so much. D-Tub finally comes back out of the Shadow Realm, and there's Porkchop able to finally get that kill. He was eaten up and devoured by the side of the Tom Kinch, which bought him time. But now Army Esports has taken down 3 as they look to continue this push.
Yeah, so U.S. Army Esports takes down 3. Still has the Baron buff. So they waited for the team fight that they wanted, and that was one that they wanted. They came out with the advantage. They took the objective, and now they're going to push and get some of these towers.
Yeah, they were able to take Manatee Waffles out of that fight, which is what they needed to do. Manatee Waffles has been a huge carry for the side of Twisted Sin. So taking him out meant that they could turn that fight because there was no equalizer, which has been the issue for Army Esports in these fights.
Yeah, that was a great pull by Porkchop as soon as he came out of stasis, pulling him back in and just being able to delete him off the map as well.
Yeah, well done by them. Valencia is just going to pick up some jungles, and we will see a reset coming out of Army Esports as they're going to look to push back out on this map and continue to keep this pressure up on Twisted Sin.
Yeah, Twisted Sin started off really strong. There's still a lot that they can do. Manatee Waffles is still super strong at this point. But U.S. Army Esports is starting to find those objectives and find those places on the maps where they want to attack.
Yeah, Army Esports is going to go to the 4-1 style. They're going to go ahead and put Mordekaiser in the bot lane. Going to try to play to their strength right here. Leave that fed Mordekaiser on his own. Know that if somebody comes over, he does have the ultimate about to come back up and will be able to turn that. Now, Manatee Waffles is looking to maybe pick a fight here. Here comes the charm. There goes some of the damage. That's going to be Hado starting to go low, but there's a great wall up from MCQ2 in the backline. Talented is free firing from the other side, but there's not enough damage coming through. There's the equalizer finally coming out. No Feather Storm available for Talented means that he's going to go down. That's a shutdown. That is Baron off of 3, or off of 2 rather. Well played by the side of Twisted Sin.
Yeah, that was the fight they wanted. And once again, MCQ2 coming up with a huge Gnar ultimate. The Wallops, he's just been on point with his ultimates, knowing when that Gnar bar is about to go off, having everything primed and ready for those team fights.
Yeah, well done by them. They're finally finding these team fights that they need. They have a very good combo if they're able to hit it, but man, Army Esports just giving over those kills just means that Twisted Sin is going to be able to extend this game and try to get this Vayne to that late game carry potential.
Yeah, do you expect this pace? We've seen a lot of team fights over the last 10 minutes. Do you expect this pace to keep up, or do you expect Army to kind of go back to their slower, more methodical, split pushing, getting the objectives type style?
So let me take a look over at Port Shop right now, and so I can see where the Baron buff is at. So Baron buff still has about 25% of the time left. I'd expect them to play around Mordekaiser, continue the split push, and I think Army Esports has been too confident to step up to a fight. So I think you're right. The call should be that they shouldn't take these fights anymore, but if they obviously aren't making those calls. So if they continue to do that, I think you're going to see Twisted Sin get back in this game in a meaningful way.
Yeah, if they keep going for these 4v4s, I think Twisted Sin has the advantage as long as they keep the Mordekaiser occupied over there on the side.
Yeah, Port Shop trying to push out, and now they're going back to the style that we saw last game, which was the 1-3-1. So Ari up in the top lane. We got the fight happening though in the mid lane. Manatee Waffles drops the ultimate to get the slow. That means a big ultimate is going to be down. It's me that SOP goes in just to buy some space. Here comes the collapse though. There's Mordekaiser over on the back line. He's in the shadow realm with the Vayne. Vayne has to try to flash out. They're going to be able to find her once she finally comes back up. There's a good wall up into the wall. Now Scheming Bath is on the back line just free firing. The Vayne is doing so much damage. No one can touch her. There's the claw back in. They're finally able to take her down. This might be the fight that ends the game, and they're able to take down Hado as well. That's going to be a 4-0 for Army Esports. It's just MCQ2 left to stop this push, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Army Esports able to finally get that Vayne and able to finally shut down the team fight of Twisted Sin. The push is coming. The turrets are falling. The Nexus is in the eyes of Army Esports, and that is going to be your champion, as the finals have been taken by Army Esports as they sweep the best of 3 in a 2-0 victory.
Wow, just when we talked about them pulling out of the team fights and waiting to get those objectives, Army Esports comes up with a huge team fight victory that just nets them the game right outside the base, and they just pushed it in from there. Great job by them.
Yeah, it's such an amazing turnaround by the side of Army Esports. They got absolutely, they did fairly well in that game against Twisted Sin in their first game, but they ended up losing. They came back here with a vengeance, and we saw just, playing to that 4-1 style. Port Shop, man, that flank at the very end was nasty.
Yeah, able to come in and single-handedly turn that team fight. They got rid of the Vayne, like you said, who kept her from free firing on the back and killing everybody. But great job by U.S. Army Esports. Congratulations to all of our teams. I know you guys are going to go over interviews, so this is probably my last chance to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with us and listening to me. I know I'm a new broadcaster, but I hope you enjoyed what we did. And I just had the best time all weekend. And thank you so much to Military Gaming League and to Mercy, Curly Hair Maria, to the entire cast and crew that put this together. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for letting me do this.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. It's been a lot of fun. Gamer Tribute, you coming on and casting. It's been a good time. We got to see a lot of these matches, and we, got to call a lot of this action. Has been absolutely amazing to see. And this last series did not disappoint as Army Esports was able to finally, they turned it around from that first victory or that first loss that they had. When we looked at the damage charts, Pork did an impressive amount, but talented once again on that Zaya, man. 25k damage. That's insane.
Yeah, he was just ridiculous on that Zaya. The closest response that Twisted Sin had, Manatee Waffles on that Rumble sitting at just over 18k. But again, he was behind two players because Pork Chop on that Mordekaiser still out damaged Manatee Waffles. So you had two players on Army Esports that just covered the top.
And so with that, we're going to end up going over to the other side. We're going to talk the Pork Chop, the fan favorite that it called for MVP by the chat. So we're going to jump over and talk to him real quick. All right. So Pork Chop, you're here once again. The fans were calling for you to be the MVP. How do you feel about winning this series?
It feels really good. We played against them about a week ago, or maybe less than that, but it feels like a while ago, and we got destroyed. It felt really bad, so it feels good to come back, put on our best showing and put out some really clean games from our part.
US Army Esports was having a rough start, but you guys eventually made it through. What was going on your mind at first?
Well, the first time, I don't know. That first loss, it was pretty bad. It was a lot to do with, tilting and, letting nerves get to us. We had a plan. We've had that first game, the opposing team drafted a really team fight heavy composition, and we drafted split push, but we didn't play it to our win condition, which is split pushing. So these games we tried, we settled on something and we executed it, and it worked.
So when you guys, we got to see the Mordekaiser pulled out for the first time in this tournament, and one of the first times that I've seen it in any kind of competitive setting. How do you feel about that champion rework? Do you think he's overtuned right now, and do you like the new kit?
It's funny. Mordekaiser was my first main, so I had a lot of love for his original kit, but they reworked that, and it became really weird. And this new one, it reminds me a lot of the old one, where you just run in and then kill whatever you want, and they have to kite you or CC you a lot. This game, we picked it because I knew they'd pick Gnar, and I need a champion that can kill him and then also duel the jungler, because I want them to send people at me, to split their team up, since they always draft meatball, deathball comps.
Mm-hmm. Well, you definitely played that one really well. So you're going to be the beneficiary of the grand prize. How is that going to change your life?
It's a good start, and it helps like solidify the team. Like, it's really good for our team morale. We're coming together. This is our first tournament that we've won like this, and there's been a lot of camaraderie and a lot of happiness in the team that we pulled together. We made plans, we executed them, and it's really, things are looking good for us. We all feel really hopeful.
Nice, man. Well, you guys played so well today. What is Army Esports looking to do moving forward?
Moving forward, definitely participate in way more games. We're in UML and then SFL, and then we just participated in this. So get a lot of game ins, and then start climbing solo queue and work more as a team, and just play more games.
Nice. Well, Pork, thanks so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate you coming on the talk. Great performance in these last games. You looked amazing on the champion. Congratulations to both you and the team, and all the success to you going forward.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
And of course, and guys, with that is going to be the end of our tournament. We got Army Esports coming out on top. Your runners up are going to be Twisted Sin. Thanks you to all the organizations, Twisted Sin, Grunto, Flashpoint, as well as Army Esports, coming out here to participate and support Thank you to everybody in the chat that showed up. Remember, if you want to continue to support the MGL, all you have to do is go on to patreon.com/military gaming league. Join one of the tiers. Make sure that you're hitting that up and that you're supporting Military Gaming League. You can also go over to aboostabove.com and vertigear.com, our sponsors for this tournament. So thanks so much to them. Thanks so much to the players and to the staff. Thanks for, Sham Shield came out here to produce for us, and Regidor was here as well, and Curly Hair Maria, Gamer Tribute. You guys were all amazing. I appreciate all the work. It's been a lot of fun these last 3 days. Thanks to everybody in chat that actually participated and talked to us. It was amazing. So guys, with that, thank you so much for showing up. Make sure you continue to support, and make sure you check out anytime that Military Gaming League is streaming. Come over here, get in the chat, and we will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.